Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a wonderful night tonight. Sorry that we're a little bit late. Sorry for the confusion about what channel this is actually going to be happening on because somebody last night got us kicked off of YouTube for 24 hours. But that 24 hours was 5 minutes late, so we were intentionally late so that we could stream on the main channel, but we were already streaming on the second channel. So now we're streaming on the main channel, the second channel, and on Rumble to just completely ruin your feed for the night. But before we ruin the rest of your feed, how about we bring on some other people to help me ruin your feed? We got Richard Bones, who's still on assignment, almost done though, and then Mr. Dank, who sounds much better now for some reason.
I got a better microphone. It should be a smidge better.
Crispy.
Significantly better.
Well, how's everybody's night going? Tonight I am cracking a zero sugar Dr. Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
Pretty
come
good
with a side of
personally.
stroke?
I had
It might be.
I had stuffed chicken mushrooms, chicken chorizo stuffed mushrooms with Parmesan and breadcrumbs. That was super good. Had some naan bread with that. Very epic.
Nice. Heck yeah. Richard, how's your day been?
Wonderful. It was actually a break in the weather today, so I was actually able to go out and get some yard work done for the first time in over a week. It was lovely.
Hey, I see Vintage in the chat. Yeah, it's been a little bit cooler here. Vintage having a very interesting day today, but we will get into that. No Monster.
Yes.
But I do have. I'm limiting my caffeine, so I can only have one a day. So I save it for stream, you know. As I started to get the eye twitches, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta stop caffeine when I wake up. Probably not the best for me. But Bones, how many days? You got 3 days left before you're back
yeah.
home. You can actually do stuff again.
Yeah,
How's
I've
it-
got 3 days until I'm a free man. Been DOD maxing for the past 45 days since July 12th. We are almost done. I am super pumped.
Well, what? 45 days out? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically a month and a half away from home here in the lovely deserts of Death Valley in Fort Irwin. Super fun time, super dry. It's like an oven outside. It was great. And we're almost finished. All the tasks are completed. Everybody's basically gone. And I fly out of Vegas on Saturday.
Heck yeah. Awesome. You can be back to your loving, adoring fans.
Yes. All four of
Yeah.
them in the server, in the
right.
Discord.
I'm going to give you guys the opportunity here. Do you want to dive straight into the disgusting, demonic news of the day, or would you rather start with something equally silly but less disturbing?
I say we build up to the...
Gotta edge the viewers, all right? We can't
Edge
dive
the
right in. We need
viewers.
foreplay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen. The UN is fantastic at foreplay.
Oh my
Let me
God.
tell you. The UN makes some of the most interesting videos to get you in the mood. Listen, this stream is going to be demonetized anyways, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Preventing rape. A UN advertisement. Yes, this is the official United Nations page. 32,000 views, 0 comments. But today we all get to watch it here together about the relationship between rapists and chimpanzee.
Welcome
Huh?
back. We continue our discussion on why men rape.
Professor,
Rapists are closely related to chimpanzees, except the chimpanzee has more intelligence.
chimps are smarter than rapists?
Oh yes, the average chimp is much more advanced than any rapist.
How can you tell?
Well, ask any rapist why he rapes and you'll get a completely idiotic answer.
You can never justify rape.
I wonder who
they're
they're-
Wow.
referring
Okay. Interesting.
You can never justify rape. Chimpanzees and rapists are closely related. Ooh, I didn't do that.
Brother.
Richard. Damn. Ouch.
I
Yeah.
was just testing it out, making sure it works.
Well, you know, in a way, maybe they are right. Maybe chimps are better than racists. Maybe it's us that we just have an issue with the underlying tones on this.
Well, to confirm, John, did you mean racists or rapists? Because you said racists.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I?
Yes.
Well, I meant rapist. Sorry.
Hey.
I have other-
think I am better than an ape.
Okay, same. Yeah. But that,
Yeah,
just
very-
a little Freudian slip there.
Very British humor in this video. Very weird that they're all blue. But very like, well, of course they're better than the chimpanzees are better. Very, very typical British humor.
I wonder if that doctor on the couch also studies phrenology.
So yeah,
Have you-
Ferdius, listen to these names. Ferdaus Karas, chairman of Chocolate Mousse Media and Culture Shift, launched a new animated campaign to prevent domestic violence and abuse. He said of the No Excuses campaign, I am very pleased to be able to launch the No Excuses campaign after 2.5 years of work by a group of dedicated volunteers in Canada, Holland, South Africa, Switzerland. Domestic violence and abuse are insidious problems that reach every corner of every country. These animated spots are not threatening or authoritarian. They do not further stigmatize the victims. Instead, the campaign uses humor and animation to create a range of messages that will cause behavior change by speaking directly to the abuser and being a catalyst to stimulate discussions in millions of households. Dude, so all you need to do, it's like Clockwork Orange, right? So you just you pin him up there, keep his eyelids open, and you show him these videos. Changed man, 20 minutes or less.
That's true. You better not rape, or we're gonna make you watch this video.
Oh, there's more than one?
Rapist.
No, oh, well.
Oh,
have
okay.
you
I thought there was
seen
more than one. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm surprised you haven't seen these bones because there's one targeted directly at you, and it's soldiers and rape. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Oh, that's a wonderful. No, I have not seen it. Though, do you guys know about the tea program the Army used to have? They tried to
Why do
equate
you
consent
want
to
to join-
giving someone a cup of tea. It was very silly. It reminds me of this a lot, where it's very, yeah, it's very strange. What does consent look like? Yes. Oh my God, I would love some tea. It's like, brother, Jesus, am I really getting an educational video on how to not rape someone right now? Yes. Yes, I am.
yes.
Yep.
You need to
I
learn.
am.
Listen, adult male soldier in the U.S. Army, you, sir, need to be taught how to not rape and what consent is.
Why do
Very
you
true.
want to join the army, son?
To rape, sir.
Why do you want to join the army, son?
To murder. And pillage. And of course, rape,
Days.
sir.
Never mind.
Why do you want to join the army, son?
To, keep the peace. Protect all women and children, sir.
Arrest these criminals, soldier.
A uniform does not give you a license to rape.
You want to
You're
join?
right. You're right. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Super based opinion.
Don't know why they
Yeah.
made the
Wow.
guy who was against rape such a loser, but
Yeah, mixed
Yeah.
messaging with that one. That one always strikes me as odd, where he's like, he's like really unsure about himself. Like, oh, I don't know, guys.
I guess
Is maybe not raping?
maybe I shouldn't.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Would you
Wild.
like to look at the gentleman responsible for those?
No, which one? Furious Koss?
Yeah,
Koss? I don't even know how to say his name.
I put his link in the private chat on the side.
Let me grab it.
Have any of you guys seen the Trump clip where he's like, I forget what the context is, but he says, women don't rape themselves. Someone's doing the raping. That's
No way.
Similar vibe. Have you not seen that? Yeah. Let me see. Actually, I might send it to you on Discord. Hold on. Give me a moment. I might have it saved.
I create visual content that inspires change. Mr. Ferdaus Karas. I don't know. What a strange name. What a strange looking man as well. Well, I don't know how many millions of dollars he got paid to make these ads for the UN, but I also am skeptical about their efficacious nature, if that makes sense.
Major press X.
Yeah, press exit out on that one. Maybe they're just weirdos who like to, do stuff. And it's funny that they're explicitly not authoritarian. Okay, guys, believe them. They are not authoritarian. They wouldn't even dream of doing that. Let me see here. Dr. Fuzzy for 2, getting us started. Moonman will outbid me, but at least I was first. Well, hey, Moonman's not even here, so if you keep it down, You won't even have to outbid him at all. Thank you,
Don't
Dr.
tell
Fuzzy.
him.
Sephardic Psycho for 10 just drops the cross. So thank you very much, good sir. I hope you're having a good night, and God bless Sephardic. Although, you know, Sephardic calls himself a psycho, but I guarantee you he is not anywhere near the level of psycho as our next subject. Thank you for that, Sephardic. No one you know for 2 says Officer Nate Higgers is on the scene. Glad Mr. Higgers on the scene is a fantastic officer, always gets to the bottom of the case. You know, if there's a rape that happens in his jurisdiction, Mr. Nate Higgers knows who got it done. Okay? Thank you, no one you know of. Chud says, oh, damn it. Officer Nigerberg, Kickenstein, reporting for duty. Awesome. Noted, Chud. Glad to have you here. We're all Chuds here. No one you know of again for 2 says, never fear, Officer Nate Higgers is here.
They must be partners.
I do enough Freudian slips as it is. They're gonna get me very soon. Thank you. No one you know of. The Lightsport for 2 says, no shanties? Crash out averted. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. We got some cowboy disco synth pop. Everyday American for 5 says Trench has joined Greg Little and Tony Cowden as a USPSA fraud. Disgraceful. Well, if you guys remember the festivities from yesterday, thanks to Charlie and Rad's Arms for coming on for that, and for Trench as well while he's on assignment doing work out there. But I think Trench got caught up and said the wrong thing, so I wouldn't put him in the category of those guys who have had a long history of doing that. But he definitely misspoke, right? For sure.
He only
It was a
stole little
misinput.
bit of valor.
Misinput. It was a misinput. Yeah, and you know. It happens though, and I mean he apologized later on to Charlie and myself after that stream. So I mean I hope him well. Hope he's doing well out there, man. Thank you, Everyday American. No one you know for 2 says, Dank, my wife wants to know about the bunk beds.
We've already talked about this
what about
multiple
'em?
times.
What about
the
'em?
lower
What does the top
tier
one
is
get used for?
It's for casual sleeping. The top one is for competitive lobbies.
It is for competitive lobbies.
Thank you, no one. Lord Prison for 2 says, Blackberry Zero is gay. Cream soda zero better. You know what's funny is I did have a cream soda zero, I think yesterday. Thank you, Lord Prison for 2. The Lightsport for 2 says, UN is unintentionally based. Totally not doxing or whatever that acronym there is at the end. But you know, every now and again they're so unracist that they loop around to being racist again. it's you know, it happens. Melissa Meter for 5 says, sure, I'm late. Don't know if we've gone over it yet, but Trench is gay. Well, damn, starting it earlier. We never get away from this. Thank you, Melissa Meter. No one you know for 2 says, Jonkler, please, Richard. All right, that's the Jonkler, which is actually appropriate because the subject of the shooting in Minnesota, just one state over from me, called himself the Wokler. But I think everything is wrong with that person. Thank you, no one you know of. Chud for 2 says, Richard, Incredible Kyle. We have everybody can see Kyle. There's Incredible Kyle right there. Thank you, Chud. Dr. Fuzzy for 2 says, Moonman's not here. SSO Floyd, please, Dickie boy. Damn, you got those on speed dial, man. I don't know how you do that fast. Tuss the Third for 2 says, I need to send these UN videos to my uncle. Yeah, they might fix your uncle, bro. It's never too late. I mean, they can't unrape you, unrape you, but yeah, maybe they can save your next nephew or something. Thank you, Tusk. Jake for 2 says, lot of evil today. Pray for peace, of course, but then follows it up with TTD, which I can assume what that means. Thank you, Jake. Hope you're doing well, man. Melissa Meter for 5 says, UN needs to release a video like these, but warns about the effects of stolen USPSA. Get it right. Stolen valor. You could end up like me, Trench. I make a parody video, but with Trench and USPSA Stolen Valor. Vintage Welfare for 2 says, let me in the Discord so I can forget I'm in it. Well, you can get in. Did people not want you in?
Weren't you there like 20 minutes ago?
Wow.
Excuse me. Rad's Arms for 2 says, Trench looks like Bobby Hill. Killed the stream. Yeah, that is quite funny that the stream got taken down allegedly for, having children on it. which is a big no-no. Thank you, Rad's Arms. Appreciate it, man. Everybody should go subscribe to Rad's Arms. Hopefully he'll be making some more content for you. No, and you know it for 2 says, is Jordan Jareb / Silly Civilian Vapor same guy?
I don't know either one of those names.
Jordan Jareb is the prison female prisoner to bedroom pipeline guy. He's
Who knows?
interesting man. But we also have a few on Ko-Fi really fast that I just want to get to. Hugh Jass for 3 says, it's time we as a country band together and start putting psychos back into the psych wards. Reopen the asylums, send any adult who transitions their kids, that should be a federal crime, any teacher who pushes this garbage, and any doctor who prescribed this to prison for these crimes. I agree.
Yep.
Thank you, Hugh Jass. And Hugh Jass for another 3 on Ko-Fi says, it's time for a crusade against the forces of Moloch and Baal. Join me, brothers. Yeah, for some reason, these certain people are really adamant about their rights to sacrifice their children. But, speaking of that, it's unfortunately time to get into this. Earlier today, let me pull up the article so we have some background information, but this just happens to be one of the drawings of this disturbed gentleman, which indeed paints himself as a demon in the mirror and him as a transvestite weirdo with a gun. You've heard about this, haven't you,
Foreshadowing is
Bones?
a narrative device.
SSRIs or something.
Wild. I'm actually not really, I don't really know the situation, so I've been kind of time capsuled. I know it just happened yesterday or today.
Today.
This morning.
It happened this morning. All right. So I've been, fill me in, Kings, if you will. I have not been really around for it, other than I know it happened.
There was a shooting at a Catholic elementary school or middle school.
It was actually a church that was also, if you want to go ahead with it, John.
Right, so 2 children dead, 17 others injured in Annunciation Catholic School shooting. Police say a lone gunman dressed in black approached Annunciation Church just before 8:30 a.m. and started firing at worshipers through the windows. So there were children in this. They were praying during the morning mass at this Catholic school. This gunman, who's also the drawer of this image here, which is in one of his manifestos and journals that he posted online beforehand, opened fire on the worshipers, the people in the mass, and he killed 2 children. He injured 17 others, and as far as I'm aware, currently there are still 3 or 4 in critical condition, but the current death count is 2, and I believe it's 8 and 10 years old. Just completely tragic. And this is Minneapolis, just about 3 hours away from me. The Minneapolis Police Department confirmed a 23-year-old person. Now, person is important because this person is a self-identified transgender individual. Opened fire at a church on the city's south side Wednesday morning, killing 2 children and injuring 17 others. Police say the shooter died by suicide following the rampage, and there is no longer a threat to the community. Hours after the shooting, law enforcement sources told KARE 11 investigators and reporter A.J. Legault that the shooter was Robin, real name Robert, Westman. Legault also learned that the shooter grew up in Richfield, and their mother previously worked at Annunciation School. Now, something that we will get into, but this person's transition started when he was a minor and approved of by his mother. The situation,
male to female, started off as a minor. Okay.
Well, the transition period started off when he was a minor.
Gotcha. Okay.
The situation started to unfold as an army of police and paramedics arrived at Annunciation Church at this address, where police reported that a person dressed in black and armed with a rifle was spotted on the scene. At a press conference later Wednesday morning, Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the shooter appeared to have barricaded doors to the church before approaching the side of the building and opening fire with a rifle, shooting through the windows directly at children sitting in the pews for a special mass. The chief confirmed that 2 children, ages 8 and 10, were killed in the hail of bullets. Another 17 suffered gunshot wounds, and 14 of those were students. 2 of the injured are in critical condition. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping, O'Hara said, his voice breaking. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. And the way that this is being framed is interesting, because if this happened to another demographic, I believe that this would be framed as either a terrorist attack or a hate
terrorism.
crime. Well, I agree with you, Richard. Yes, I agree with you, but that is not the way that it's being framed, though. So I'm just calling out the hypocrisy of that.
I'd say it qualifies for both.
Well, because he's intentionally targeting Christians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I went to a black church
explicitly.
and shot up a black church, this would be a hate crime, right? This would be terrorism. Or if I targeted a synagogue, right?
Yeah.
O'Hara told reporters that the shooter, who came armed with rifle, shotgun, and handgun, did not have a criminal record. The chief acknowledged reports that the mass shooter also had improvised explosives, but said law enforcement found no bombs on the scene. Additionally, Westman left a vehicle, funny last name, left a vehicle in the church parking lot, which O'Hara said would be searched along with other locations. O'Hara went on to confirm that all 3 firearms were legally purchased by Westman and that authorities have no indication Westman acted with an accomplice. So, now, all these were purchased legally. Westman's 23 years old, so he can purchase firearms. I would recommend, and I don't think this violates YouTube terms of service, so I might be a little bit careful here, but I would recommend, if you own a gun store and you see a obviously mentally unwell person come into your store dressed up as whatever it might be, you should not sell a firearm to them. That would be my advice to you.
I believe that that's a legal requirement, but I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer.
Well, I know there's something on the 4473 that asks about your mental health and stuff, and I believe that, unless I'm mistaken, unless states have laws against it, but I believe that any store can refuse service to anyone for any reason.
Correct.
Unless I'm
especially
mistaken.
the FFLs.
Yeah, so the FFLs can do that. Now, I don't know if this individual, hid their intentions. Obviously, they would have, or at least passed well as a, binary individual of sane mental state, and the gun store didn't pick up on that. I don't know. Of course, I wasn't there, but I definitely would say feel out the people you're selling guns to. As somebody who's sold guns on the private market, allegedly, of course, completely legally. You always want to kind of figure out who you're talking to before you go sell them, whatever it is.
I'm not sure about Minneapolis. Well, I would go for individuals as well. Like if I went to meet somebody for a gun sale here in South Dakota, where for individual transfers you don't need a 4473 or background check, and I showed up, and somebody was obviously schizoed out of their mind. Like let's just say like obviously agitated on drugs. I would be like, I'm going home. I'm not. I don't need your money,
police,
bro.
Actually,
yeah, like this is simply not happening right now.
So, what are the odds that this person actually went into a store and purchased these 3 guns?
Well, it's 23, and they said they were legally purchased by him. That's what the article says at the very bottom.
Right, but I doubt that they went in and plucked one off of a shelf. I feel like this would be a type of individual who would avoid any type of confrontation or questioning.
Could have been something else.
Yeah, I believe it was probably most likely purchased online and then transferred through.
I don't know, because the weapons in question are incredibly cheap. So it was most likely the bottom of the barrel, whatever was laying around. So I would not be surprised if some pawn shop or some gun owner saw this guy come in and was like, whatever, it's a quick buck, and then he takes the money from this guy. So the claim is currently, of course, this is very early. This is literally like 12 hours ago, 14 hours ago. Is the claim is that they were all purchased legally, right? So they are his guns.
Which shit happens, right? People are, and it's unfortunate, but if people are unwell mentally, they are capable of lying and masking that and purchasing a firearm, and you can't.
No, I agree with that, and I'm not claiming that this individual gun store did something wrong, right? Whoever sold them these guns, because somebody could come in and it looks like a weird guy in a ponytail. There's plenty of weirdos with ponytails, right? Or people with long hair, right? But I'm saying there are other signs. Like this is the 4th transgender mass shooter in the last, I think, year or so. And at some point, you just got to be like, maybe I personally, as the gun store owner, I'm just not going to sell to you. Like, you can go somewhere else.
The alternative there is the gun store owner could be another Russell Fagan or Carl Casarda, right?
Well, I mean, that's always possible that he was, sympathetic to that, because there are gun stores that are liberal gun stores that are liberal gun owners and business owners and whatnot. So it is possible for that as well. But to those people, I'm not really talking to those people though when I say I recommend that they shouldn't.
If you mark non-binary on the 4473, you can get out.
Yeah, it would actually be funny if the gun owner or the gun store owners themselves just cross that out. Like, hey, if they see somebody put that down as an option, they just say no, thank you.
Hey, can we introduce rainbow flag laws like red flag laws?
Rainbow flag laws.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, this gentleman has all the kind of telltale signs. Defend equality with a gay AK owners stay taking these L's. Okay,
jeez, man.
We got the gay AK defend equality, and what they mean by defend equality is affirm my mental illness or I will kill your children.
Yeah, it is violence to them if you don't think they are what they think they are, even though they're mentally ill.
And we see here, I mean, this guy also, he has a obsession with other mass shooters, basically all of them. And I mean, he followed in the Christchurch footsteps and the one in New York last year where with white paint, you mark the names of your idols on the guns that you're going to use in this mass casualty event or whatever sort of statements you want. So for instance, on the magazines, he had like, sorry for the magazines, heavy topic, and I'm sorry that popped up now, heavy topic, but on some of the magazines he said like, where is your God now, kill Donald Trump, rip and tear, things like that.
There's a part in one of the videos where he has a target with a
I have that
printout
pulled
of
up as
Jesus on the face.
Yeah, I have that one pulled up as well. Well, it's kind of the delusion, right? It's like you're obviously a man with long hair and you try and feminize your voice, you think you look like this, but no. But you do not. Not at all. Andy, is it no or no?
No, I believe.
Andy, no. Okay. No. Well, Andy No has been really good about calling all this stuff out. He's very fast too. So I stole a lot of stuff from Mr. Andy No. So it's always a threat. This is Penny Flanagan, Tim Walz's lieutenant governor. She cares. You guys got to stop. This is a heavy topic, okay? If there's one time where you should not be donating on Ko-Fi right now, it's for this one, okay? Let this one go by and then get your kicks in, okay?
Hold the donations. Hold them.
Please stop. I'm trying to get through this. So this is Penny Flanagan, Tim Walz's lieutenant governor. She cares about trans kids. She will be governor upon Walz's victory. And again, this is from 2024 when they were still in the running. Protect trans kids. When I would say it's protect us from trans kids or protect the kids from their predatory parents or their predatory school teachers or whoever it is that's foisting this ideology upon them. Protect the kids.
Yeah,
leave the trans part out.
This is not a natural thing.
No.
This is evil in satanic. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, this is like objectively what was going on inside of this guy's mind, right? And this man is very far gone.
Mm-hmm. There was an interesting little story I read, excerpt, I guess, of someone who was a trans individual and they had fully transitioned and kind of the discovery they made of how unhappy they were and how they felt like they made the wrong decision, right? It's a very common thing, but you don't hear about it very much because if these people come forward and say these experiences they have, they are ridiculed by their past community. The trans community says they're traitors, and then the non-trans community, or like the right, if you will, or that's how it's kind of labeled, gives them kind of the I told you so treatment. So there's a lot of this, like people will go through all these steps, think that it's going to be amazing when they're done, do it, and then are like, holy shit, this is actually awful. I regret all my decisions, but they stay quiet about it to just minimize the ridicule that they'll at least they think they'll receive from both sides.
Yeah.
Well, I think I think he was House representative. He said today it's not kindness to affirm your mental illness, basically, or something to that effect. I might have to pull that up, but essentially that's what you get. It's affirming their delusion. You might think that it's kind, but it is simply not. It's like telling somebody with a broken arm, no, it's fine, bro. You're perfect just the way you are. It's like, no, you are broken, but we need to fix it. There's a possibility of getting fixed. There's a possibility of healing, of moving forward, but you have to actually experience the pain and get it fixed. You can't just deny reality.
Yeah. Letting a mentally ill person mutilate themselves is not the answer.
Dude, especially when we're
very
talking about
unbased behavior.
when we're talking about children, like starting hormone therapy at like teenage years and anything, bro, like not only should the parents be charged, but the doctor should be as well for administering life-altering hormones to a child who we do not allow to vote, we do not allow to drive, we do not allow to buy a gun, we do not allow to do many other things to participate in society. But you're like, you know what, kid?
Let's chemically castrate them.
I mean, basically, right?
It literally is that.
Yeah.
It's evil.
So further evidence here. I mean, we can go through his. I got to be very careful. Again, on YouTube, I don't know if I can even play his manifesto video, his 11-minute manifesto video.
It got taken down. His original upload.
Why I haven't.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It is a man on the edge. It's very Reddit-tiered energy, but it's also heavy. Like when I watched it this morning, like I knew my entire day was ruined. Like this is just awful, right? And
Jeez.
This sort of like disgusting thing it's really, this sort of thing is happening to hundreds or thousands of people around the country, but it's really not brought to light unless these people do something horrifying like this, right? But I mean, there are other people like this that are suffering exactly like this person is suffering, and these people aren't helping them. They're just pushing that pressure, that pain under the surface until it bubbles up and they do something like this. So yeah, Robin Westman, the Minneapolis trans mass shooter who killed children during Catholic Mass, wrote anti-Trump, anti-Christian, racist messages on his weapons and ammunition. He also wrote the names of other mass killers, as you can see there on his magazines. Now, this man, obviously completely psychologically broken, he was just throwing everything at the wall. He mentioned Brandon Herrera. He mentioned Vintage Warfare by name, saying that he agreed with basically everything that they said. And obviously he was like Brandon Herrera. Well, it's kind of like Andrews Breivik, right? The Christchurch shooter saying subscribe to PewDiePie before doing his thing. He said Brandon Herrera for president 2028. That was one of the things that he said in that video. He said anti-Israel things. He said... he basically tried to hit every side of the political spectrum. He just called out everyone. He wasn't, none of it's serious. He's not actually right wing. It's obvious that he's a degenerate, broken man. Now, this is
evil individuals do evil things.
This is the Mayor Jacob Frey. Mayor Frey gave a speech about standing up for trans people at a press conference about the trans mass shooter who killed children during Mass at a church / Catholic school.
Wait, this guy made a response saying, "Yeah, go ahead."
Be kind to trans people. So yes, so this is him trying to stand up for trans people, calling out Christians after Christians just got killed, children just got killed at a prayer service in the morning. Trans people most affected.
Christians.
Imagine,
I don't give a shit about mentally ill people. Stand up for Christians.
Imagine if this was another group of individuals where, I don't know, let's just say it was a bunch of Jewish kids, and they're like, you know what, stand up for, it was a Palestinian who did this terrorist attack, right? They'd be like, stand up for the Palestinians. It'd be like, what are you, bro? Now is not the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's horrible timing. I'm gonna let this play. Wait, let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay,
all of us. And I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids.
Yeah, maybe we should be protecting them from individuals like this.
I mean, like, I guess I get where he's coming from, I suppose, where he's like, don't immediately group every single person who is trans as a horrible human being, I guess. I guess that's where he's coming from, and I understand, I guess, that mentality of what he's trying to say.
I totally understand that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, okay, if you have a Muslim, okay, just take anybody, okay? If you have a Muslim drive over 50 people in a New York Pride parade or whatever it happens to be, right? And then you're standing on top of the dead bodies or right outside from the dead bodies. And you're like, listen, guys, let's not forget about the Muslim community here. It's like, like this is within hours of the shooting. You're standing outside of the church where there are dead children on the inside, and you're like, listen, guys, we got to protect our trans community. Like, if you want to have that message later on about a generic, like, we got to, be kind and loving to everybody or something like that, maybe don't do that on top of the dead children's bodies.
What about
maybe
where their kids just got killed?
Yeah, they're hauling out body bags on stretchers as he's giving the speech behind. Fuck.
Well, I mean, that would be a freaking Family Guy joke or a South Park joke.
Yeah.
Is like the mayor talking outside about how we got to protect our trans community as like the school is being emptied of dead bodies in the background or something like that. And also, it is fine for people to want justice. It is fine for people to want accountability. But I think that's almost demonized. If you call, like, okay, so let's take another one. When the illegal alien murdered 3 people on the freeway, right?
Yeah,
by doing an illegal U-turn.
I thought. Yeah.
Well, so when he did that and people were calling for his removal or execution, you can't be like, listen, we got to be kind to our Indian illegal alien drivers polluting our roadways and killing our families. We have to be kind to this. Like, no, maybe we just want justice. Maybe just bring justice back. Maybe that's what we want. Simple enough.
Instead of being kind, we want our communities not to be shitholes.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
And now, to be clear, now remember this. This is the Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Frey. This is him kneeling for George Floyd's casket. And this is after I don't have the clip of him saying that Christians shouldn't give thoughts and prayers for the situation. They need to actually do something, calling for like gun control for it. But remember, this is the same guy kneeling and crying for George Floyd's casket. Okay, somebody who
moved to Minnesota, I wouldn't anymore.
Somebody who OD'd on fentanyl. And this is performative. I don't think for a second this guy actually cares.
100%, yeah.
Like, if you're publicly crying and kneeling at the casket of a felon who pointed guns at pregnant women, who OD'd on Fent for trying to pawn off stolen or counterfeit 20s, like, this is just pure performance to appease your black community because you're afraid of them, or you're afraid of your own people turning on you if you don't have the right amount of I don't know, bending over for these people or something.
Well, they probably should be afraid. I mean, did you see what they did when they were just mostly peaceful?
Yeah,
imagine if they're somewhat violent.
I mean,
yeah, wait till we turn it up to violent. Yeah. All right, so this is a little excerpt from the video. The man named in a disturbing video allegedly made by the prime suspect in Wednesday's mass shooting at a Catholic church and school is speaking out and condemning the shooter's hateful and senseless act. Brandon Herrera, who again was called out by this person by name, a Second Amendment activist, YouTuber, and Texas Republican congressional candidate, responded to being named in the shooter's video in a statement emailed by his campaign to Fox News Digital. Herrera said, "I'm horrified by this clearly hate-motivated attack on innocent children and disgusted that my name came out of this demon's mouth." I think that is the appropriate response. Me and Brandon don't always see eye to eye on everything. We have our little issues here and there, but I think that was basically a perfect response. Now, this gentleman claimed to know Brandon. That is almost certainly a lie. That is almost certainly just a
relationship.
Well, it's probably a smear attack because he probably actually hates Brandon. And so he's attaching himself to Brandon Herrera as the person, as the politician, Brandon Herrera for president 2028. He is attempting to hurt his political career by tying him to a mass shooter who killed children, right? And calling out Vintage Warfare. Vintage, Austin, is a friend and a Catholic, calling out his name as somebody that you agree with and identify with as you go to murder Catholic children. This man is just a disgusting, demonic individual.
Evil as evil could be.
Yeah, very wild. I feel like there is something in the Bible about something evil will try to disguise itself as good. Something. We're getting an example of that.
Millstone. Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's quite a few in the Bible about stuff.
Many
like
such cases.
this.
Austin actually I texted Austin today. He's doing well, but
That's good.
I mean, it's an awkward thing. It's a terrible thing to wake up in the morning and have people sending you, "Hey, did you know you got called out in this mass shooter's Manifesto video?" Like, hey, he says that, like, he identifies with you. It's a terrible thing to go through.
I wanted to message Austin, but I figured he was probably getting enough of that. So if you're listening, bud.
Well, here's Vintage's statement on it. Yeah, Vintage is here right now. I mean, he could come on if he wants to talk about it live. I don't think he wants to talk about it live, but I would be happy to give him his time. Vintage Warfare says, I had nothing to do with this. I didn't know this freak. Never heard of them. Never talked to them. That demon name-dropped me and Brandon because he hated us. I 100% agree. They killed innocent Catholic children. Remember that Vintage is Catholic. Hated Catholics. I am Catholic. Go find another scapegoat. So he also, again, this is this Dr. Beck retard calling out, people are already blaming his parents. Do you know that he was living with them? Was he mad at them? Also, he mentioned the loving and kind people, Vintage Warfare, Warfaree, because he has an extra E on there. They didn't seem like that to me, which is obviously this guy is just trying to throw mud at the wall, muddy the waters by calling out, I don't even want to call them right-wing individuals, but like more traditional individuals, if that makes sense. So, talking about his childhood and his upbringing, Minneapolis trans mass shooter of Christian children, Robin Westman, came from a very liberal family in Minnesota who fully affirmed his transition. Westman's 18th birthday was celebrated by his father James in the trans colors, and the family had the court change his legal identity when he was still a minor. The reason identifies as female and wants her name to reflect that identification. So that's his father. Happy 18th birthday to Robin Westman, which is, of course, the female transition name, meaning that this was happening when he... Not the real name. This was happening when he was a child. Now, I don't think I can call them pedophiles on YouTube. I don't think that's allowed, so I'm not going to do that. But if you allow your child to be convinced that they are another gender while they are a child, if you promote gender dysmorphia care, not gender affirming care, but gender dysmorphia care or anything else like that, it's the same thing as if you psychologically abused your children or anything else. I personally think that sort of thing should be completely illegal. And yeah, and you can see minor identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification. Signed off by her parents. Sold out by the people, literally the two most important people in your life to actually protect you from this sort of thing.
Yep, they're supposed to protect you, and they gave in to your delusion instead.
It's just a weakness, unfortunately, and a lot of these parents, they want to do anything to take care of that loved one of theirs. And a lot of the rhetoric is very divisive around these sort of topics. And a lot of what is said is, in this instance, right, like it was a male to female, it would either say you'll have a living daughter or you'll have a dead son. And it's your choice to pick which you're going to essentially have. And I think a lot of parents don't know how to deal with that emotionally charged statement, and they just give in, and it's unfortunately, it's a weak thing to do, but they do it because they think it's right,
They think it's right, and yet the suicide stats don't change after the transition
Before and
either,
after.
because it is an illness.
It's not. It's the mutilating your body does surprise does not fix the mental anguish. Does not happen. It's like people who have like phantom pain in like it's a psychological condition where their hand or their arm or their leg just hurts nonstop, right? And it's all in their head. It's just in their head, right? It's not actually like a physical condition. Like there's no nerve damage. I mean, this has happened a few times, but with this, parents are terrified of their children hating them, which I can understand. I can understand that. All right. However, you are the parent. We, as parents, I have 3 young children. We must do things that the children do not like. When my son is rowdy, we make him run. I don't care whether he likes it or not, right? It is good for him. So by the same token, if my son wants to eat a gallon of ice cream, even if he's mad at me for telling him no, I still tell him no. That's ridiculous. Right? I mean, that is quite literally your job as parent. It is not always sunshine and rainbows. And listen, I haven't even gotten into the teenage years yet. I'm sure it's going to be miserable when they're teenagers. But guess what? I still have to make sure my daughters aren't whores and my sons are good young men.
You could go big-brained with this and let him eat the ice cream and then make him run.
Oh yeah, just make him throw up. I mean that is an alternative method of teaching children the consequences of their actions, I suppose. But either way, that would still be I am trying to influence them positively, right? Teach them something rather than giving in to them, right? It is not my job to give in to my children and allow them to make their own decisions. That is simply not the case.
If you wouldn't allow them to get a tattoo, why would you let them to cut their body up?
I simply can't even imagine how that's possibly legal to chemically castrate a child. I simply do not know how the doctors that do it. How does that not violate the Hippocratic Oath? Like just on its face.
It does.
Yeah. It's like I don't have kids or anything, so I'm not a parent. But I have common sense enough, I think, and I've seen this happen, unfortunately. I won't give specifics on who or anything like that, but as a parent, if you try to be a friend to your children, you end up with undisciplined, disrespectful kids, and you need to be able to not be a friend. It's not, I mean, you don't want to be an adversary, obviously, but I've seen what happens when parents raise their kids not as being parents, but trying to be their kids' friends, and it does not ever end well.
Right, because people try and be... People are weak, right? So they grow up without friends. They grow up in a hard situation where they're not particularly happy. And so they're like, man, when I was young, I was kind of an outcast, so I just want to be friends. I don't want to be like, I didn't like authority, so I don't want to be an authority over you. But it is quite literally your job to be an authority over this person. Like, it is an authoritative role. Like, that is your job.
Yeah.
It is a responsibility that you have and that you chose to have. So I don't have sympathy for you when you try to make derelict on your duty.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another facet in this. Today's killing of Christian children at a church in Minneapolis occurred in the context of a surge of far-left trans propaganda encouraging Trantifa and other leftists to take up arms to kill transphobes and quote-unquote fascists. I have never yet met a left-wing people that could tell me what a fascist is other than me. Their targets, Christians and conservatives. I have been warning and reporting of this phenomenon for years and have been called a liar by liberal media and targeted with death threats by the far left. Now, what's funny is you'll notice we've talked about all these losers before. This is YZY, Fat Ass Prince, with a Protect Trans Kids shirt. He has lost a copyright strike against this channel for a thumbnail, which again I did win. And the only thing that didn't make me go after him and sue him for his false DMCA takedown was the fact that I literally read a verse that day that said, don't return evil with evil. Now, if he does anything like this again, I might have to revisit that statement and execute justice upon this man. Watch your back, my friend. This person is part of Doll Squad. We have mentioned him before, which is, again, a totally trans militia. You can see another picture of them there before they self-deleted their accounts, and other such individuals. We've talked about all of these people before. And this is the face of the far left.
The post in the bottom right saying death before detransition is that's kind of ironic.
Well, it's going to happen one way or the other, I'm afraid.
48% of the time.
What is their obsession with AKs? Listen, AK guys continue to catch L after L after L.
Same reason why they're obsessed with CZs. There's just something intrinsic about the
You take that back. You take that back right now. I just bought a CZ. You gotta stop. I'm just kidding, bro. Yeah, I mean, many such cases, and this is their actual art. Like, if you get down to it, this is what they'll tell you. You know what? I'm trans. I'm gonna come out. You'll never be a real, right? Words, right? They phrase it as a fist, but words. You'll never be a real man. You'll never be a real woman. You are simply a mutilated person, a broken individual. Your psyche is shattered in a million pieces and will never be put back together. Their answer, generations of torment shall be repaid with interest, meaning your unkind words, I'ma kill you. I'ma kill you for being mean.
Generations torment? What are they talking about?
Well, it's funny that they say generations of torment, but they don't reproduce in generations. It's actually not possible for them. No, but this and this are the end states of the transgender ideology. Well, I should gotta be careful here. This is one step before the final end state of the transgender ideology. We've played these games before.
As I say, I think the end state involves an extra piercing.
Well, we've played these games before, but this is where the trans ideology leads. I mean, quite literally, demonic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to see. I have the video pulled up, but I don't want to pull up the video.
Yeah, it's just kind of, if you guys do go out and look for the video, it's essentially just schizophrenic ranting.
It is very, very disturbing.
Is this the manifesto we're talking about?
This is the video
That's
here
the
in
video.
question.
It's just,
I have not seen. Immediately, it screams sanity.
Well, so I don't even think that I can play this on YouTube. I think this is actually banned, but you can tell that he's mentally unwell. He claims that he's dying of cancer, completely undiagnosed. You can see him with his different mags, with the different guns that are painted. And I think screenshots are okay, but I can't show, obviously, anything else. He has a primary arms classic red dot that he has. And just obvious ramblings of an insane person. Kill Donald Trump, rip and tear on the back of that. He goes over his whole fit, shows explosives, shows everything that he plans to do. Just a disgusting, tragic end to this person. Well, actually, I shouldn't say tragic end to him. I think his end was coming one way or the other, but
tragic
unfortunately
end for kids and
the
their
children,
lives
yeah.
have forever changed.
Well, that wraps up that segment of the show, gentlemen. I don't think we're going to talk about that any further. We're gonna kick through these the donations that you guys sent in for that, and then we're gonna move on to lighter subjects. That being Aimpoint releasing a Gen 2 of the worst red dot of all time, and then a few other lighter topics. So if that was too heavy for you, stick around. If not, I'll see you guys later. Melisdemeanor for 2 says, Chud, my beloved, when did you get moderator? Congrats, but God help us all. Yeah, Chud's a mod. Oh, I don't know what you're doing, Bones, but I'm gonna mute you real fast because that was coming through real hot. Thank you, Melisdemeanor. Chud for 2 says, retaliation at a, nope, we don't, you would never fed post like that. I will take away your mod status instantaneously instantaneously if you fed posts like that. Do not be retarded. Absolutely not. Basecamp for $2 says, "What's up, boys? I'm late." Yeah, we're hanging in there, man. Not a great day. Thank you, Basecamp. Hope you're doing well. Grinder for 5 says, "Transvestite weirdo with a gun." Great. We're going to talk about Trench some more. Grinder has way too much information on Trench. That's all I'm saying. He seems really invested. Wish this time was down. All right. Everyday American for 5 says, "We're church-going children, the fascists that the left keeps urging and outright calling for violence against. Is this the fascist takedown we needed?" Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, well, hey, I'm gonna take on the man or fight the power or something like that, and then they go and murder children and then take themselves out. Everyday American for 10 says, "Add more pronouns to the 4473 and auto-deny anyone who marks a box rather than man or woman. And then if they try again and mark a different box, arrest them for lying on a federal form. Easy fix." That's a, interesting move.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I know when you know it for 2 says, "Yes, Tampon Tim's state." And Tampon Tim also had a statement today urging peace with the trans community, which is always awkward. They never focus on the victims. They're always like, hey, just because this one wacky man killed a bunch of people, like don't you dare mention other problems out there, okay?
We got to be nice to the aggressors. We got to be nice to the people committing the violence, not the victims. Come on, guys.
They did something very, very similar after the Pulse incident. If you guys recall, a lot of them come out and the statements were, "Well, we're getting backlash as a community because of the actions of this one." No, you weren't. You didn't receive any backlash.
Amara for 2 says, "Good evening, my straight fellow cigaros." Wow. Ridiculous for 5 says, "The art had Russian text saying, 'Who am I? When will it end? Help me. I don't want to kill yourself.'" No, I mean, listen, if you're not a Christian, you don't need to believe in, demonic possession or demonic influence or anything else like that. I do, right, personally, as a Christian. But you could blame it on the SSRI, some sort of mental break, whatever else it might be. I'm sure this man was on a host of both hormone inhibitors or whatever it might be and SSRIs, which for some reason, these pills that you're taking to fix your problems just don't do the trick. I think you're ridiculous for 5. Grinder for 5 says, "We live in a country where Trench literally gets paid to teach others. Even worse, it somehow involves guns."
Oh.
Trench still catching hate, bro.
Catching strays.
Mr. Johnny Moo 1 for 5 says, "Only people named Nick Her hate AKs." No, okay, interesting. Mr. Her, not a fan of AKs. Chud McGill for 5 says, "We have a Reddit tier atheist in chat, Richard. Incredible Higgy in your Discord messages. At Higgy shooting, you're a retard and can't make an argument." Oh, did we have a Trantifa defender in chat? Really?
Yeah.
Bring him on.
Bring him on.
Get him in here.
I've seen at least 2 people inside chat who have been acting a fool, shall we say?
Running amok. I don't. It's hard for me to see chat. I'm on mobile, so I've not been tracking what's going on in chat.
That's probably a good thing.
Okay, fair enough.
Ridiculous for 2 says, "AK on the flag, but she, quote unquote, used an AR. Who taken an L? Shush. Ridiculous. Shush." It's the AK guys are mad that I'm I'm just clowning on AKs. Okay,
you couldn't afford an AK.
It's too heavy.
That's true. They're too
AK was
expensive
heavy.
now. Also too heavy now. Interesting. Everyday American for 5 says, "I know they are pissed they couldn't cover up that manifesto video fast enough. Can't hide the intentions on this one." Yeah, as soon as I found it or was sent it, I just downloaded it. So I have all the stuff. As soon as it hits the internet, bro, it's over. Everybody has it. Thank you, Everyday American, for 5. Grinder for 10 says, Dear Mr. Vintage Warfare, per your request, we've temporarily suspended your account. We hope you come back very soon. You were one of our most interactive users. Wow, Vintage. Very active on Grinder. All right. Creature Operator for 2 says, Shooter was a juice. Yeah, but, a trans juice where you identify as a different flavor or something. Thank you, Mr. Operator. It was originally
apple, and then they said they were orange.
Yeah. Chud McGill for 2 says, bro acting like he didn't get turned into a Fent bot. You're talking about the mayor crying over George Floyd's casket, which is incredibly cringe. John Shepard for 2. Hope you're doing well tonight, John, says, Psalms 58:10. Let me pull that up real fast for some clarity to the situation. Well, yeah, so this is one that's good as well. The righteous will rejoice when they see they are avenged. They will wash their feet in the blood of the wicked. Which, yeah, people don't like to talk about the not so nice side, the justice aspect of Christianity, right? You'll see leftists or atheists say the thing like, oh, you're supposed to be like generically nice according to my moral values, right? That's what you're supposed to be, right? It's like, but you don't even believe what I believe. So how could you tell me what about my beliefs, right? Thank you, John Shepard. Grinder for 5 says, you can have a living daughter or a dead son. Wonder what Trench said to its parents. Thank you, Grinder. Creature Operator for 2 says, man, this Metal Gear is pretty solid. Wow. Thank you, Creature Operator. Subarctic Psycho for 2 says, Matthew 18:6. Fair enough. Yeah, another great one, Matthew 18:6. But if anyone who causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for him to have a large millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. Woe to the world for the causes of sin. Thank you, Subarctic Psycho. I appreciate the 2. Art Vandalay for 10 says, doctors take the Hippocratic Oath based on their own subjective view of what do no wrong is, just as dangerous as judges that say the Second Amendment doesn't exist in my courtroom. Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. When you have these statements and they're up to personal interpretation, well, then the statements themselves don't matter if I interpret it as whatever the heck I want, right? Thank you for that, Art Vandalay. Chud McGill for 2 says, LMOA banning this Muslim Pino. Oh, did you remove the guy who was... Yeah, I mean, listen, if people are in here actually defending trans murderers, like, just, ban them from existence in this chat. How about that? Thank you, Chud. Gideon Young for 5 says, TFD. TFD TV? Is that the TFB brother? Thank you for that, Gideon. Grinder for 5 says, real world, if I were Vintage Warfare, I'd be taking down every vid where he says the gay word, and that's us here at Grinder talking. No, Vintage is fine. There's not going to be any pushback for Vintage. I don't know if he just called out Vintage because he's Catholic and he was going to murder Catholic people because he's a disgusting, deranged, evil, demon-infested person, or if it was just because Vintage is like tangentially related to Brandon Herrera, who's obviously the main target of the attack. But we will never know. We will never know the motivations of that man, past tense. Gimity Flickers for 5 says, as a Minnesotan and father, today was not cool. Heavy hearts and anger. Yeah. When I was an Amazon driver, I used to deliver to Catholic schools here in Sioux Falls, and wonderful people, wonderful places, and it's tragic to see that happen. Thank you, Gimity. Chud McGill for 5 says, sorry, my B King, sorry about the Fed bus. Yeah, you can't call for death and chat. You just can't do that. That's a no. Nope. Because if I read that and then somebody actually does that, I get a call from federal agents. Santorin 27 for 2 says, at least Vintage. Oh. Damn. Oh. Wow. Grinder for 5 says, our research indicates 99.9% of trans are just failed incels. The rest are trench. Aw. Damn. Despite making up 0.2% of the population, they make up half of all school shooters. Andre for 5 says, USPSA stolen valor, way more serious. Chad, true. USPSA stolen valor is the worst kind. 50 TNCSA for 5 says people talk about Christ being a lamb, but also forget that he's a lion. It's true. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Most people who call themselves like Christian but don't attend or don't read their Bibles, or aren't Christian but use like, aren't you supposed to be like nice or something like that? Like just this generic niceness thing. It's like I don't need to even engage with that. You don't know what you're talking about. Thank you, 50
be nice
TNCSA.
and then misquote something from Gandhi.
yeah. It's like eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. It's like that's wrong leader there. Thanks. I keep screaming. MP4 for 2 says I only own an AK for my Metro LARP. I swear. Well, Metro's mega based, so I need to play those games again. Thank you for the 2, sir. Kowloon Republic for 2 says doctors don't even take the Hippocratic Oath anymore. Well, I mean, listen, I've seen lots of future doctors and lawyers floating around, and they terrifying, these future doctors and lawyers. All right, and over on Ko-Fi, which Ko-Fi is essentially, it's the same thing. It gets read out on YouTube the same way, but they only take 5%, so it's a much better split than 50% if you're on an Apple device. Absolute Moonman over on Ko-Fi says super chat's broken ? Also, tell Richard Tito. He will know what it means. Also, I simply should be in charge of the Sweetie Squads. I could maybe in billions. Tranny rates would drop like a stone. Well, listen, I think it's a self-correcting issue most of the time. Moonman for another 3 on Ko-Fi says, I'm not sorry that popped up. This is the price of your hubris. Yeah, that's the bad part. It's going to happen at the worst possible time. I'm going to have anime girls dancing on my screen. Glow So Bright on Ko-Fi, thank you, sir, says, protect trans kids. 2A for all. Hashtag arm the dolls. Hashtag 161. I mean, yeah, when they say 2A for all, like, keep in mind that this person is one of those people. Dr. Fuzzy says, as a Minnesota resident, many of the quote-unquote churches here fly the rainbow flags. I imagine those that don't become targets by these sick people. That's probably a good point as well, that they'll target out the churches that haven't caved. That's sad, but yeah, that is actually probably a good point.
Well, this person's mother worked at the church, at that same church, correct? That she retired.
Well, yeah, so that was probably related because his mother worked at that church at one point.
Yeah.
Moonman on Rumble says, they say geldings were the happiest men in Rome. Othar, simply remove them, family jewels. They get to not be degenerates. We get to play Operation. I see what you're saying. Yeah, eunuchs. Eunuchs are a effective solution to a lot of these problems. Amar says, good evening, my federal heterosexual siggers and siggeros. Huge Ass on Ko-Fi says, it is perfectly reasonable to feel hate for a demographic that is prone to child murdering.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Well, I mean, listen, is it wrong to call out certain groups of people for bad behaviors? I don't think so. Am I crazy?
No.
I think you should call out all groups for bad behavior.
Moonman on Ko-Fi says, the mayor is Jewish. I recommend giving him a field trip in Minecraft. This is financial advice, and you will not go to jail, pinky swear. Thank you for that, Moonman. And then Huge Ass on here says, on a different note, Trench is mega retarded. Imagine how retarded his soldiers are after he's done training them. I am sure Trench is a good trainer and instills only the best values in our future soldiers and warfighters. Okay?
I have it on good authority that Trench is an excellent knowledge transfer specialist, sir.
Okay, so we'll move on to a lighter subject. All right, Aimpoint. They were hyping up this release, okay, for like a week. They're like, listen, guys, August 27th, we got it. Something new is coming. It's going to be a big, big deal, okay, guys? And, well, it's a Gen 2, not even a Gen 2, of their Duty RDS, which is the worst optic that they have ever made. I want to say.
Duty.
Awesome. It'll probably be $1,400 too.
Well, so that's the thing. What's funny is, what's funny is, let me show this tab. Okay, yeah. So they were trying to hype this up like 827.25. Stay curious. What do you think it's going to be? Everybody was hoping for either a T3 or like a holographic or something new and exciting from Aimpoint, but instead, it is just a Duty RDS, which is their cheap version. So it's like $450, $500. So it's like cheap, quote unquote. But it has like the worst glass, the worst features, all of the worst stuff you could imagine on it. And they decided, you know what, guys? We're going to make a Gen 2 of it. Oh, actually, dude, that's Megabase. Can I pull that up again? Where'd that go? Gosh dang it.
That revolver?
Yeah, dude, that looks sick. Oh, they edit too fast for me to get it. But anyways, they're like, you know what, guys? We're coming out with the worst red dot, Gen 2, and the only update of it is the fact that it now has a dot combo reticle. So it has a HoloSun 500 series reticle in it. And I think for the first time, it also has auto on, auto off. I think that's revolutionary for them.
This is garbage.
Well, it is quite literally garbage, but I want to get to the inside the reticle, please. YouTube, this is not. Okay, there we go. So
that was a slideshow.
That was a slideshow. YouTube, stop! Don't kill me in Minecraft. But no, so the Aimpoint Duty, it's like well known that it just looks terrible. Like to look through it. It's very green. It's very blue. It's $500, so it's not even that cheap. But of course, a T2 is $800. A Comp M5 is $900, right? So by comparison, it's cheap for an Aimpoint. So what they did with this is they gave it auto on, auto off, probably to save battery life with the extra emitter. Right. They give it the full 2 MOA dot, 65 MOA, donut of death, whatever you want to call it. But it's still, the glass just looks like garbage. In their own promotional material, which isn't even good footage, it's just this disgusting green-yellow hue that you're looking through.
Lucas
so
Botkin would be proud.
I don't know about you, but they have mine.
It gives you Lucas Botkin vision, T-Rex arms vision.
Yeah, T-Rex arms vision. That's funny, right? So as color grading, that's funny. However, looking through a red dot is, I don't want cinematic color grading when looking through a red dot.
Shit, I didn't know I was in Mexico and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, the Breaking Bad red dot, yeah.
It's got a lot of, like, the body's huge. There's so much of that takes up your field of view. Like,
it's bigger.
It's all bezel.
It's bigger than a T1, T2 style optic. So your Sig Romeo 5s, 4s, 4XTs, HoloSun 400, 500 series, or ARO now, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. It's bigger than that. I'm sure it's very durable, but they upped the price, or they kept the price the same either way. They added literally one thing and didn't change anything else. And also the body is much taller. So you can see like how far down the body sticks. So this won't even work well with other mounts. So if you put this on like your absolute co-witness mount, it's going to bump it up. It's going to bump it up to like a 193. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, huge ass. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, so that bumps it up to a like 193, which I'm not sure if you want that with this. So, yeah, probably the most unexciting launch of Aimpoint's career. Just
imagine a company that built itself off of ripping you off is now mogging all over your new products with HoloSun. I mean, like, looking at this, it just looks like, wow, look at we took all the features that HoloSun added to our red dots. And then we did it, but we made it worse and made it way more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the AROs, I mean, the only advantage that this has, theoretically, is that I'm sure it's a little bit more durable, hopefully.
Yeah,
right?
and it's not made in China.
They're still submersible to like 100 feet. They're not made in China. They're made in Sweden, right? So it's like, that's cool, right?
Are they made by the Swedes, though?
Well, Swedes in quotation marks. But I don't know if it's worth, triple the price, quintuple the price of an ARO.
Agreed.
Or
I don't
a
Romeo
ARO,
4. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just I'm not convinced. And people didn't like the Duty, so updating it was like, well, you made nobody happy here, because they'd much rather have a Comp M6 or a T3, like a true generational improvement, rather than just a slight update on a red dot that nobody liked to begin with.
I wonder if this is like an attempt to maintain a hold on like the law enforcement market, like with the, because
It's got to be.
Yeah, because if I'm thinking about it correctly, like the Pro and some of, I'm not super well versed on Aimpoint's line, but like Aimpoint has a pretty strong hold on the U.S. law enforcement market, and it's like, you know, they're not really looking for direct to consumer. They're just looking to maintain that hold and not lose it to like EOTech and stuff. So they're like, look, guys, we made the red dot a little bit more modern, you know, and now the police department's like, oh, great, perfect. We can update our crappy Aimpoint red dots with slightly crappier Aimpoint red dots.
Yeah, I mean, for contract pricing, it's probably pretty good. I'd imagine, you know, much cheaper than what we're getting it for retail, but it's so uninspired. And I mean, it adds a couple extra features like the auto on, auto off, which some people will like. It adds the EOTech donut of death, which maybe they're like, oh, if you want to switch from your EOTechs, this is about the same price as an EOTech. Might even be a little bit cheaper than an EOTech, right? So it's very uninspired. Ben, how's your night going?
It's going good. How about you guys?
Good.
I'm no camera tonight because I would instantly get you demonetized and taken off the YouTubes if I turn my camera on.
You're all right, man. So what are you thinking about this Aimpoint Duty? Has your department ever tried these guys out?
I have experience with the Pro, the god awful Pro optic. Thing's just a hunk of piece of shit.
And it's interesting you say that. Oh, good.
Like this, you beat me to it when Focus let me in. This is for LE agencies whose admin is making decisions and doesn't give a shit what their officers think. They're like, oh, cool, sweet, an optic. Aimpoint, they're reputable. Let's buy this.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to fool people just because it has an Aimpoint label on it. They're like, oh, this must be fantastic.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was looking at early on, like a month or so ago, looking at picking up a used Aimpoint for my AR9, and so I was asking some of the law enforcement guys in my unit, hey, you know, have you guys used the Aimpoint? Have you used the PRO? You know, what do you think of it? And multiple of them were like, yeah, I've used the Aimpoint for 10 years, but my department just moved back to EOTech. And I got that from multiple guys, actually. Now, I mean, it might be a localized thing, but just the fact that I heard that in a very small sample size of local police departments and SWAT teams where they were letting go of their Aimpoints for EOTechs now.
Yeah, I think it was just, I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where it's like they're going to market it so heavily to LE agencies, and it's going to be people at like state agencies who don't get a decision as to what they put on their rifles, and it's like, here you go, this is what you're using, deal with it, be happy,
right,
or get nothing.
You're gonna use it and you're gonna like it. You understand it?
Well, I mean, like go ahead, I'm sorry.
From the procurement side, if they don't know what they're looking at, I could see them buying up a bunch of these and slapping them on FN Guardian rifles and being like, hey, it's an Aimpoint dot on an FN rifle. That's top notch.
I mean, at least they used drippy rifles to market it. Like you got the LWRC piston rifle, you got the Geisley URGI over here. So they used drippy rifles for the marketing, which is good. I did appreciate that. Now, speaking of a product that I might actually buy it tonight. Okay, this is on pre-order. I don't recommend pre-ordering stuff. This is SMS Laser's Trinity. For $320, it is a V-cell based illuminator, IR combo, night vision unit. Now I have, it might be behind me. It's probably underneath that sheet, but I'm not going to touch it because I want to make sure the stream stays up. But it is a V-cell based IR illuminator Viz laser combo, $320. Their previous laser, the HFXC, this one is actually a super solid unit, 4-in-1, $250, full power, like ridiculous power. Very cool for $250. Now, if you're not a night vision nerd, it's not going to be that exciting. But essentially, with this pre-order, they are coming out with something that will compete with size, form factor to something like a Raid XC, a Maul, a Holosun Iris for $320, which is half the cost of the closest competitor being the Holosun Iris. And again, their previous entry, if it uses that same technology, just with an updated body, way more ergonomic design, so you have a push-button slider for your throw, you have your power buttons, you have your mode selector on the left. It only comes in at like 6 ounces, and it's an inline laser, so directly over the bore, which is super advantageous for AR users. For $320, if this thing is legit, like I don't see a purpose of buying anything more expensive.
So what you're saying is we're paying for the name when it says B.E. Myers on the side of it?
Well, B.E. Myers is made in the USA, right? So that is going to double, triple your price right there. But what does the Raid XC go for? Like 6, 5? It's something stupid. Malls are still, I have a Maul in my closet, I think. Malls are what, 3.5, 4? Something like that. But
Jesus.
if this thing does what it's supposed to do, it's almost a direct replacement. Now, Chinesium, right? But 10% the cost. So this is something I might buy tonight and get it on pre-order.
Do you know when the pre-order, like when they're supposed to start shipping out?
Well, it says ships 35 days after pre-order. So that means that they're probably getting assembled right now in China, and then they're coming over by boat or whatnot. So, yeah, next month.
What battery does it
Christmas
use?
Present. Side-mounted, which is kind of the way you want it, CR123A.
Okay, nice.
Their previous model, which I don't have on my desk, their previous model was kind of like a 4-in-1, kind of like this thing here. This is a unit that some Chinese company sent out for me to play around with and do like testing for them. This unit is garbage, but the SMS laser stuff has actually been pretty good. Their last 2 units. So now for everybody, I don't know how interesting this is going to be for all of you guys in chat, but if you're into night vision stuff and it's already a very, very expensive habit. As Andrew says, who I have his Maul in my closet, says I paid $3,200 for my Raid, which is a good price, and $2,600 for my Maul. So yeah, if you're into night vision stuff, it is already crazy expensive. So if you can get pretty good performance for like $300 on an IR unit, like you are very happy. Very, very happy.
And you said you like their the 4-in-1 they had, or the
their
light
4-in-1
laser combo?
Their 4-in-1 for the money is the best IR unit on the market. Now, I had issues with mine, and I basically told them what they needed to do to update it, and then they updated it. So on the initial model, the HFXC or whatever the name was of that, I hate the name, but whatever the name was on that, like you couldn't adjust the illuminator and the laser power separately. So if you put them both on full power, you would have like a 2-foot laser beam, right? Full power laser beam. And then, so it would just wash out in your illuminator. But they simply updated it to where you can adjust the power levels separately. So you can fine tune and have a nice crisp laser with your big powerful illuminator, and you can do all the things with it, right? So that's what and there were some other little issues with the initial model, but for $250, like basically a steal at that price.
Current price for the Raid XE is $2,900 to $3,200. So yeah, that's very, very significant.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, I don't recommend anything else. All the other stuff is old garbage. That is kind of like their old stuff. The HFXC is good, and hopefully the Trinity is good. Hopefully. So I'm going to buy one of these just to test it out. And then I have the HFXC, and it's good. The HFXC is so good that I've considered buying like 3 of them just to have on every gun. Because the white light, they also have a full white light. The white light is like Streamlight HLX Pro level. So it's good enough to basically replace everything. Uses standard switches. Good.
I was just going to say, does it pass? Because I'm looking at it, and can you mount this to the top and still have a front iron sight, or does the sight would the iron sight get in the way?
No. So the way that this one offhangs, the body offhangs to the left, so that the IR laser and vis laser are straight down the middle. So if you did want to do a front, if you wanted to do a front sight post, you still can. It would just have to be behind the IR unit.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So I mean,
Interesting.
or yeah. So it would be awkward, or have a flip up one. If you flipped it down in front, like facing backwards, basically, and then flipped it up where you want it, you could do it that way. Wouldn't work with a fixed sight though.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Oh, Brass, do you have one of the Trinities? Because this thing is appealing.
Early access. Early access brass.
Well, so
Spill the beans.
Well, so what I want to know is one of the other guys, Bargain Bin Tactician. He does all the video work and photography for SMS Laser. So he usually gets all this stuff in ahead of time. In fact, these are probably his pictures, if I had to guess. If there are a few stateside, I actually do want to know if they're legit. Because I'm probably going to buy one tonight for $320. It's a steal if it does what it's supposed to do. Oh yeah, the HFXC. Yeah.
You just make a YouTube video about it.
Exactly. And then you pawn it off on some unsuspecting Subscribestar member.
This is a very niche. This is a very niche scenario, but like on the diving board mount I have on my bolt gun, I've got a PEC 15 up there for illuminating and marking targets when I have a clip-on night vision device in front of the scope, and it's a pain in the ass zeroing that frickin' PEC up on that diving board because the height over bore is wicked high.
Yeah,
it's an absolute pain in the ass. And
yeah,
so
that sounds miserable.
Having something that's center lined with the rail, that would be pretty nice. Actually, for even if it's a piece kind of a junk illuminator or whatnot, but having that laser center line, so when you're pointing at something, you're actually pointing at what you're looking at.
Yeah, no, and I like the inline lasers. I know some people like to have, like Bones was saying, like to have a front sight post or whatever in front and then have the IR unit like right behind it, basically, so having an offset allows them to get that laser past it. But for most people with quote-unquote modern setups, if we don't have a front sight...
Hey, I never said that I have a fixed front sight block. I'm just asking. I was asking, okay?
I've seen some front sight blocks, okay? Right. That guy Kyle says focus ship. You should do some nod content. I mean, I've done some nod content. Okay, so I am very close. I'm very close to securing my next IR or not IR unit. My next unit. I have one of Andrew's units in the closet, but my next actual like PVS 14 unit. It's going to be a Tanto, 50-degree field of view with the Actin black lenses. It's going to be an Elbit tube or whatever it is. So it's coming. Okay, it'll be like next month. Next month I'll have that, which will line up perfectly for the new IR laser unit, and also the the days are getting shorter. So go ahead.
When you're saying Tanto, are you talking like a dual PVS 14 setup or like
no,
Tanto
single?
Itself?
The Tanto itself. So it's a Tanto housing with the 50-degree Actin black or Actin blue. I forget what the name of it. Actin black lenses on it. So you get a 50-degree field of view, and then the Elbit thingamajig. They get 2 Christmases. That's funny. But that'll be next month. So that'll line up really nicely with that pre-order. What doesn't line up super nicely, how's that for transition, is talking about the P320 once again for just a minute. So
Trench is in the chat.
Global Strike Command completes. Yeah, they actually had Trench do all the testing to verify whether or not their P320s were good to be put back in service or not. That was
very rigorous.
That came to me in a dream. That wasn't confirmed. Okay, just I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So Air Force Global Strike Command completes M18 handgun inspection, returns to service. So which is, as we'd expect. So they inspected 7970, almost 8,000 M18 handguns, following the pause after the airman shooting in July 21st, 2025, which we still don't have all the information on because military trials can take their time and they don't have to be forthcoming with information, which is their prerogative. But there's one part in here. Where is it? There's only one part in here that's of interest to me. Where is it? Come on. Am I blind? Oh, here it is. Okay. The inspection process identified discrepancies, which is always an interesting word, with 191 weapons across the command's M18 inventory. So 191 out of 8,000 roughly. Let's say 8,000, or actually let's do
1 in 41.
Oof. Ouch. Ouch. Okay.
Not
All right.
great
Fair enough.
statistics there.
1 in every
So-
41 were sent back for issues.
Well, so all 8,000 were inspected. 1 out of every 41 across the command's M18 inventory. The identified discrepancies. The primary discrepancy was related to components wear. The most frequent issues centered on problems with the safety lever, which is, again, the last line of defense before that striker goes home. The striker assembly and sear, also insanely important. Weapons exhibiting these discrepancies were immediately tagged and are undergoing necessary repairs. The intent of this command-wide inspection was twofold. First, to confirm that all weapons in service are in proper working order, and second, to analyze the data regarding any reported discrepancies and usage rates. So, 1 out of every 40 pistols, roughly, had sear or part wear, safety lever, striker assembly wear, abnormal to, because I believe these were only issued like 3 years ago. So these are fairly new handguns. So now that is some time for wear and tear, as you would expect for some handguns to have issues, right? But for 1 out of every 40 to be having issues that they needed additional safety measures or replacement parts or anything else like that is a little concerning. So, a review of weapon discharges in Air Force Global Strike Command showed that none were attributed to weapon malfunction. When we see a potential issues, we have a responsibility to our airmen and the American public to evaluate and find any discrepancies and act on them, Busseret said. As part of its commitment to safety, Air Force Global Strike Command is implementing enhanced inspection procedures for the M18 pistol. The command bases will include additional inspection criteria for the areas where potential issues were found during the M18 pause. So, moving forward, they're just updating their maintenance cycles and exactly what they're doing during their maintenance checks, right? By incorporating these added measures, we assess that any issues found with the safety lever, striker assembly, and sear will be identified during semi-annual and annual inspections. So every, 6 months? They're getting these done. Said Lieutenant Colonel George Hearn, Air Force Global Strike Command Chief of Security Forces, as we execute... poor phrasing. As we execute M18 inspections in the future, we will be taking a particular interest in these components to ensure these methods address the issues we found and make adjustments as needed. Air Force Global Strike Command Security Forces defenders are resuming arming with the M18s because for 2 months they only had M4s. That was the only thing that they were being issued, basically, that have successfully passed the inspection, so all but those 200 that didn't pass, deeming them safe and reliable for use. Further, Security Forces Squadron commanders, senior enlisted leaders, and combat arms training and maintenance personnel are taking the time to meet with airmen following this inspection. These leaders are discussing inspection findings, explaining the enhanced inspection procedures, reinforcing muzzle discipline, which is... very important. Regardless, everybody can agree, regardless of your take on the P320 or the M18 or M17 or SIG themselves, everyone can agree if you don't point the gun at the person, regardless of if it goes off or not, it doesn't kill somebody.
Everyone can agree except for Black Rambo.
Bro.
Okay, well, hey.
Hey, don't make it about race, man. Reviewing reporting procedures for weapons of concern and providing airmen the opportunity to ask questions and raise concerns. The M18 is specifically designed and rigorously tested to meet stringent environmental, endurance, and drop tests unique to the military. Now, I do find it funny that they mentioned drop tests at the end of that article, considering that SIG came out with the P320 in 2013. They didn't update the drop safety features until 2017. However, they bought the patent from Gray Guns in 2014. So they bought the updated dual sear catch, the updated safety measures. They bought all of that from Gray Guns in 2014. However, they did not implement any of the changes until 2017. So I would say it seems that SIG objectively knew that the guns were not drop safe for a number of years before implementing the change. And remember, Gray Guns also knew they were, because in 2014 he, designed, or even earlier possibly, right? That's just when this transaction took place. Gray Guns almost assuredly knew, looking at the design, something's wrong here. It's not actually drop safe. In my own testing, because after people figured out how easy it was to get it to go off, like people just recreated it, going off pretty easily. Gray Guns knew about it in 2014. Sig did not make it public until 2017, and then they had their voluntary upgrade program when, again, they already knew that it was defective for the last 3 years at that point.
Now, do you think that they could be held liable for any instances that happened during that 3-year time frame between 2014 to 2017 when they had already purchased it but hadn't implemented the fix or said anything to the public?
It's very possible. Well, because this is all going to be used in court. It's all being used in court right now. It's very important to note that the last cases that have been settled, SIG has lost. So that is the most recent cases are SIG losing. So, and there's still, 31 cases ongoing or something stupid like that with hundreds of defendants. So all of this stuff is going to be used in courts, in settlement agreements, in whatever it might be. It's all going to be used going forward. And that more and more of this information comes out, the more ammo, quite literally, you're giving to Mr. Zimmerman, who is the master lawyer behind winning against SIG. I think he's won 4 cases so far against SIG.
I think it's going to be interesting if some of the YouTubers start popping up in the actual court proceedings. I'll give you Exhibit A, Your Honor.
What's up, my Siggers?
I saw a video.
It's gonna be
Apparently
Protraband.
They already have.
Yeah,
Protraband has been mentioned. Yes.
Protraband and 320s in a P320s in a trench coat. I had a stroke there for a second. Yeah, I figured that would be.
Can you smell toast, Richard?
Always.
Oh.
Bro, people say smelling toast is a bad thing. That sounds wonderful. I love waking up to the smell of toast in the morning. What's your guys' problem? It's like, oh, my wife is making me breakfast, but then I remember that I'm alone and sad.
And it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know where I am, which is always a weird one. All right, let's see here. Jeremy Stebbins for 5 says nothing, just drops it on the table and walks away like a boss. Thank you, Jeremy. Ridiculous for 2 says AR user targets Brandon Herrera. Yeah, I think we made this point earlier, but if he could afford or hold an AK, he probably would have chosen an AK.
Or an SKS.
Or an SKS, yeah.
Even
Are
better.
SKSs expensive now?
Yes.
Yeah, they're great.
Yes, they are.
I actually have a funny story about an SKS at a local gun shop. It was some sort of Russian SKS. I'm not an expert on it. It had a bayonet on it, but the guy wanted $1,700 for it. So,
why?
Oh,
yeah.
They'll go for like $500-600, not 17.
Damn,
Jesus.
17.
Some people are crazy.
I have
know
seen
what I
a couple
got.
of them in immaculate condition with bayonets and everything for like $850. Right?
Yeah, like there's some listings for $9.99 on Gunbroker, but like, dude, anything above that's insanity, poop madness.
I would argue that anything above $600 is insanity.
Yeah, I walked in the
I mean,
gun
it's
shop,
not-
saw that, and
Bro.
immediately turned around.
SKSs, didn't they used to be in like a Sears catalog or a Big 5 catalog for like $199 or something stupid like that?
Yes, I actually have. I have one of the catalogs that has SKSs and Mosins. The Mosins are $79. They had Egyptian Mahdi's for $169.
Yeah, so they were very cheap before, thanks Obama for banning all the imports, and then Trump never did anything about it.
Yeah,
I'm still kicking myself for not buying the Czech VZ58s from Fleet Farm for like $150.
Yeah, fuck.
Well, you know what's funny though is if you guys actually drop big money on some of these imports that are now no longer around, and then some president like 10 years from now says, "Oh, we're just going to end those import bans," and then they instantly crash in value. So your $1,700 SKS goes down to $69.99.
Hopefully,
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, as it should be.
Please,
I'd take
please.
That's why some of the staunchest staunchest like
collectors,
FRT super safety guys are like the machine gun guys are anti-FRT.
Yeah, well, because it devalues their product.
Yeah.
Speaking of product, Huge Ass over on Ko-Fi says Aimpoint Duty 2 overpriced Garbaggio. Thank you, Huge Ass. Appreciate it, man. Kowloon Republic for 5 says, according to Google, most med schools take quote-unquote updated oaths that align with modern medical ethics, not the do no harm Hippocratic oath. Of course.
I like how ethics have changed. That's pretty cool.
I like it when my doctor can do harm sometimes.
We do a
Ethics have
little bit
definitely
of harm.
changed.
Yeah.
You
9
can have
out of
some
10
harm as a
doctors
treat.
no longer recommend camels.
Oh.
Camel's the animal or the cigarette?
The cigarette.
Mark for 2 says, recommendation for a lefty outside the waistband holster for a Glock 17. First off, learn to shoot right-handed. Second off, problem solved.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what guys? What outside the waistband holsters do you guys use? I imagine this is for carry.
Any.
Just Safariland. I was looking
Safariland.
at
Yep.
Well, but is he talking about concealed outside the waistband, right? So like
there is no
3
such
o'clock,
thing.
4 o'clock. Well, under a coat, sir, everything is concealed. Okay.
Yeah.
www.ebay.com.
I don't normally, there's a company recently, I'm going to get their holster. Maybe I'll do a review of it, but Falcon Holsters, I think they've been the most thorough custom holster maker that I've seen, because I have got a TLR7 sub, which they don't even make anymore, on what is essentially a Glock 19. And nobody makes holsters for that combo, even though it's really satisfying because the flashlight doesn't go past the muzzle.
Right.
But I had to dig super deep, and I found Falcon Holsters, which have been around forever. They make a lot of boomery leather holsters, but they also do custom Kydex holsters. And I've got one. I'll get in like a month or so that they custom made for me to fit that Glock 19 TLR7 sub combo. And hopefully they're good. They seem to be pretty thorough. They asked me questions about it, and I emailed them pictures. So.
I mean, if you don't mind shelling out like $150, QVO, quick violent over, his holsters, Roger over there, you got a lead time like 3-4 weeks. I think they're not fast and they're kind of expensive, but he makes just about everything under the sun. So
nice.
Could be a possibility.
I was going to say, I will personally never have another concealed carry that doesn't have a flashlight extending past the barrel, just because I've recently, my best friend, his sister's boyfriend, got held up at gunpoint and was forced to drive around to ATMs while a guy was in their car. And he couldn't get to his gun. And when he saw an opportunity, he reached in his bag, grabbed his gun, put the Glock up to the dude's head, but pushed too hard and it went click.
Yeah.
Because the barrel got pushed back ever so slightly.
Dog, that's
then
terrifying.
He got the brawl, but, it worked out. He ended up shooting the guy. It's
there you go. He made it out. He made it out. But
he shot the guy, and then also he shot through the guy into his friend's leg. So not a great situation.
Oh,
bro, that's wild. Imagine muzzling somebody's head and getting it click no bang,
or just no click because it comes out of battery.
Well, yeah, or nothing.
Pretty
Right?
thin for the round to go through him and into his buddy's leg. Guessing he was training to be a basketball player or something.
I don't know. I haven't asked the guy specifically because he's been having a rough time.
Yeah, dude, that's not fun. Fresh Pinochet, he would give those gentlemen a great helicopter ride. Says, sup, dudes. Thanks for the many streams. Thank you for that, Pinochet. Appreciate you, man. Todd and Dogs for 5 says, imagine SHTF and these people pose as civ defense and then abduct children. Christ said to have discernment, so why are we enabling trannies? Also, and so I mean, there are many passages that you need to take holistically. So it's not just a simple kindness message. There are also passages where you need to be wise as serpents, right? It's about having cunning. It's not just about this simple sheep-like nature where you're generically nice to everybody. There are many proverbs and psalms that go over justice, but not only that, but talking about if you are unwise, you will have like foreigners eating or drinking from your wells and eating at your tables and stuff like that. So you do have to take a holistic interpretation of the Bible, not just quote mining one verse. It's like, see, I win, I quoted one verse at you and now it's over, bro.
Hey, look, this
it
one
says
verse
love
said,
thy
"Be
neighbor."
nice.
What do you mean?
Well, it doesn't say import Somalians to then kill your neighbor and take his house. Doesn't say that, though. Andre for $2 says, can somebody invite Bobby Dynamite? We could. Excuse me.
Wow.
Ridiculous for
The
two.
best response to that.
That's it. Stream's over.
Yeah,
You
we're
can't
done.
top
That's how I'm ending that. Aimpoint copy Harrison Reticle. How's the turntables? Yeah, that's after everybody copies Aimpoint, and then Aimpoint's like, you know what, guys, we're done innovating. We're just going to copy you now. So now it's the Ouroboros of Aimpoint eating Hollow Sun, eating Aimpoint. Thank you, Ridiculous. Boy Anderson for 2 says Aimpoint Pro is peak aesthetic. Ben? Yeah, I mean, I like the aesthetics of the Pro, of the Comp M4. I think they just look good, especially on an FSB really build. Good. I think they look cool, okay? Because that's like peak Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 vibes right there, okay? However, I also don't... Well, I like the Comp M4. I like the Comp M4. It's a heavy pig, but I like the Comp M4. But, yeah, the Pro, I don't know. It's not my thing. Ada Vachon for 2 says, yeah, talking about the Raid XC, $3,200 for the Raid and $2,600 for the Mall, which, yeah, I think he has access to dealer pricing, though, so that's cheating. That's cheating, Andrew. Tom Docs for 2 says, it's called Boar-centric, you lowbrow singers. Thank you, Don Dogs. Moko's Strongest Soldier says, I had a dream. Galmar, let me full screen for this. Okay. Had a dream. Galmar Stonefist, Skyrim, and I mugged a person before sieging a walled city with a dragon whose breath turns people into monsters. I saved Centuresii from the keep, then was sent to a Skyrim Anivmeet. Interesting. I think you've been playing too much Skyrim, my friend. Thank you for that, Amoko. Andrew Patu says, thank me for my service, Sig. Thank you. Thank you. Boy Anderson for 2 says, Molot Vepper 545 wood furniture used to be $600. And yeah, 545 used to be 9 cents a round. You get 1,000 round cans for $90. Yeah.
22 long rifle prices.
Basically, yeah. Castigar48 for 2 says that dude had blue eyes, blue over there and there. Chud for 2 says I bought a T-Rex IWB for my 34. Am I now gay? You're IWBing a 34? I don't know if that's gay or baller, dude. I was carrying
my size, the 34. Is that 17?
The 34. Size? No, it's longer than the 17. It's 17 out.
Oh my
goodness!
It's
5 1/4. I want to say. So yeah, I was carrying my 17.
This is about the length of a 34 right here.
Yeah. Well, so I was carrying my 17 in appendix in dress pants, and so every time I like sat down, the gun and the TLR-1 would like poke through like I was pitching a tent in my pants the whole time, and I'm like, oh, this is awkward. I need something smaller, guys. This isn't appropriate.
I swear I'm not happy to see you.
But yeah, this 34, man, I don't know about that. I mean, flexy.
Good for you.
But yeah. Vachon for 5 says, I have a Pro on my SBC9. Until you are done with my Comp M5 and Mall, also not a B, Myers, or Wilcox dealer, Holosen, Horoshan, and Steiner, and I hate D-balls. I thought about getting a D-ball D2, but then I realized that they were quite literally a pound on the end of your rifle, not including anything else that you have out there. They're good, but they're a pound, and they're like $1,600. So... yeah, the laser market has changed drastically over the last few years for the better.
You just counterweight it with the Army's new battery pack they want to put in the butt stock, right?
Right, yeah. I got the stubby in the back and the Maul on what is it? The D2, the D ball up front and the stub in the back. Balance. Hey, Coyote 6 is here. Nobody asked. I'm just kidding, bro. Well, speaking of something nobody asked for, how's that for another transition? Ammo prices are going up again. Tragic. So this is according to Kinetic Group announces ammo price hike across all brands starting in October. Dear valued customer, thank you for your continued support of our brands and your commitment to American manufacturing and jobs. We greatly appreciate your business and partnership due to ongoing increases in the cost of key raw materials. Now, this might in part be due to some importation and tariffs, because a lot of the materials do come from overseas, because a lot of it is highly toxic to manufacture, which makes it more difficult to manufacture in the USA, which means that you have to import it from third world countries and from places like China. Yet I repeat myself, including brass, antimony, lead, propellants, and others. We will be implementing a price adjustment across our ammunition brands effective October 1st, 2025. This will include our B&P, Blazer, CCI, Federal, Fiocchi, Heavy Shot, Remington, and Spear ammunition brands. Now, before you panic, this is not that big of a deal unless you're buying like tens of thousands of rounds. Okay, so rifle ammunition increases between 5 and 7%. So we're talking like, 2.5, 3 cents a round.
Is it 2 to 4 cents?
It's annoying, but it's not too big of a deal. Shot shell 7 to 10%. It's like, okay.
I'm still gonna call this gay.
It's super gay, but handgun 3 to 12%. And again, so it's a penny here, 2 pennies there. So it's not the worst thing in the world. And keep in mind that this shouldn't change import prices directly. However, if you're a MagTech enjoyer, which I happen to be a MagTech enjoyer of some of their ammos, there is a new 35% tariff on Brazil, I want to say.
Damn.
So that directly affects Taurus, some the other companies that are down there, MagTech, so on and so forth. So for those guys, as soon as American stock kind of dwindles of that stuff and they have to import new stuff, they have to raise prices, right? Because there ain't no way people are making 35% margin or even markup on ammunition. Ammunition is very tight, very, very tight.
A lot of countries are starting to run towards negotiating better deals now that deadline is coming. So it is possible that the deals get better and some of this can be rescinded.
Well, I totally agree with that. Yeah. So I mean, we've seen Trump change on a daily basis what the tariffs are, how long they have. We've seen him do 90 days. He got 90 days, and then the 90 days is up. It's like another 90 days, and then it goes from 50% to 0%. It's like, oh, we had a great talk, tariff removed. It's like all of that sort of stuff is in flux all of the time. But in general, the good news is that ammunition has been getting cheaper. Like I've seen 5.56 as low as 37 cents a round, which we're only like 10 cents off 2019 prices. So we're not horrifying. And 9mm hovering, the lowest is about 20 to 22 cents a round, somewhere in there. I'm buying bulk like match ammo at like 29, 28 cents a round, something like that. But I've seen the Federal Champion on sale for like 20 cents a round, 22 cents a round, somewhere in that range. And if you're buying like pallets, you can get 18, 19 cents a round. But that's just, most people aren't buying 20, 30,000 rounds at a time.
I've seen Blazer and CCI both this past weekend at 2 different places for $11.99 a box, and they had a $1 off coupon. So,
there you go. Heck yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So store like my local Shields has Federal the Champion, which is just 115 generic, but that is always sitting right about 23, 24 cents a round, somewhere in that range. And the 5.56 is about 45 cents a round, but that's at a big box store. So which isn't terrible pricing, right? I mean, I'm not great, but not terrible. And if you factor in inflation, it's actually lower than what it was in like 2019. Because if you factor in like 35% inflation over the last 6 years, then prices are pretty equivalent.
It's funny that they're going to raise prices in October, only to then lower them again in November and call it a Black Friday sale.
Well,
yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, they're going to pull a tactic on our
It's honestly the price increases from the manufacturer are low enough that you might not even notice a difference on store shelves. Like if it's just a penny or two a round, you might not even notice a difference at some of them. Especially if you're not buying from one of these guys.
It's funny because our state ammo contract through like Federal and Kinetic Group and stuff like that, some of the online retailers were able to get better deals on the ammo for like training and stuff instead of going through like the actual state contract.
Really? Yeah, ammo's a weird one because I have dealer accounts with many places that sell ammo, and sometimes you just don't get good deals from the dealer side of things. Sometimes it's cheaper just to go retail, which is like, because somebody has ammo on sale somewhere and it's cheaper than the dealer side somehow. And it's like, okay, I guess that's where I'm going.
Yep.
Yep.
And then a lot of the distributors require like bulk purchasing, so like minimum 5 cases or minimum 10 cases of ammo. And
Hmm.
if you're a small agency, there's, why are you buying 10 cases? You don't need that. That's hard to fit into a budget. So it's like,
Yeah.
cool, I'm just going to go to Ammo
Yeah, there's a
Seek and be
large
like,
company out there
9
that
mil,
bought 10,000
115, best
units.
price.
Something not in a similar vein with like the imports and the tariffs. I know that it was buffer weights were starting to dry up. I actually talked to someone at KAK at their customer service department about it, and they said that their tungsten buffer weights are basically on back order because they all come from China and Russia as of right now. So a lot of their buffer weights and their buffers are all on back order because of that.
So you're saying Russia's not willing to part with their tungsten so easily right now?
That tungsten's getting crammed into tank
I
shells.
couldn't imagine why.
I forget what the overall
we need that for
reserves are,
shells, baby.
They have, I forget what the total number is, but a significant portion, like the overall majority of tungsten in the world is located in Russia. If I remember correctly, I'll have to check.
Well, wasn't it the same thing during the Cold War when they were trying to build out the SR-71 Blackbirds, right? They had to import a lot of it from Russia as like different things and not be obvious at what they were doing with the titanium, right? Because that's what they needed to make the thing work.
They had like a shell company of a shell company of a shell company buying the materials. So it was like 3 shell companies removed.
Yeah, and they because they obviously it'd be really dumb. It's like, hey, why are these American companies buying like these super aerodynamic shapes? So they had to do all sorts of wacky things to get the titanium here because it's like unobtainium back then, right?
Well, the titanium is different than the tungsten.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's funny
similar
that we've kind of done this thing before. Yeah.
Yeah, going around in circles.
Dude, it's funny that when that plane was designed in the 60s. And it's another one of those things where we haven't quite surpassed it yet, and it's just like,
Have they?
Stagnation, baby.
I'm
sure they have.
Could you imagine being the solo pilot in the one that they made for the CIA, which was like the what was it, the A-12 was the actual designation of it. They made a specific SR-71 that instead of having 2 pilots, only had 1 pilot, and it was for reconnaissance purposes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair,
they would cram more camera equipment into it.
Well, I say that the SR-71 hasn't been surpassed, but it has, because we didn't like know what the SR-71 was till like 15 years after its inceptions, and we've seen sightings of the quote unquote I forget what they're calling it, manta ray, or one of those things where we've seen that flying Dorito around, and it's like that's obviously the
Astra.
Yeah, whatever it is, and they are already testing another one of those hypersonic Mach 5 planes that's been floating around.
I think there's also been sightings of like the I think they're calling it like the F-47 or something like that. It's like a weird YF-23
the new one
style.
Yep.
We only learned about this stuff like 20 years after it's been incepted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the design of this stuff, planes take forever to come out, dude. Like forever. From concept drawing to first flight is like a decade.
They also have an unmanned version of the Blackbird that was it's now drone operated.
Damn.
all this technology only to be released and immediately leaked on War Thunder forums.
Right. So yeah, Chud asked, where do I get 5.56? So it's funny. My local Shields has had it on sale for $8.50 a box, which is 43 cents a round. So I've just been going to Shields and buying 400, 500, 600 rounds at a time for whatever I need, so I don't have to dip into stockpiles or anything. I just like, okay, I'm filming this week. I'm going to go grab X amount from my local Shields. Really simple. So
that's lucky that you got a Shields that close to you.
Lucky.
Well, it's so I'm like 45 minutes away from Sioux Falls, so I have to drive into Sioux Falls to go grocery shopping, right? So I just do all that and go to Shields, so it's right there. So
yeah, you actually have cheap ammo near you. Imagine living in a state that doesn't charge you an extra 6.5% tax on anything firearms related because you live in a gay state or something.
Oh, so is that on top of normal sales tax?
Yep.
Oh,
the county
Whoa.
the county that
it's
Chicago
bad.
is in too. Oh, go ahead.
No. That was it. I was just saying it's bad. It sucks.
Oh, yeah. The county that Chicago's in also has a 5% tax on centerfire ammo and a 1 cent tax on rimfire ammo per round. So anytime I'm up there and I'm like, oh, I need some. Never mind, I'm not buying it here.
Yeah, I think it was funny. What's his face? Isaac Bakken, TRX Arms. They did a thing with the Tennessee government because for a while they had, I think, an 11% tax on ammo. I think California has like an extra 10% or something like that. But yeah, but they got that removed, which that is super gay. Super gay. Well, speaking of super gay, how about Kilmar Abrego Garcia fights imminent deportation to Uganda? Now, you might be thinking, Garcia getting deported to Uganda? That doesn't sound right. That is funny, but that doesn't sound right. Abrego's lawyers filed a new lawsuit seeking to stave off another deportation after he was taken back into custody on Monday. A repeat offender, you say? A federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump's administration's bid to deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Salvadoran man who has become a symbol of President Donald Trump's mass deportation agenda, to Uganda. U.S. District Judge Paulo Zines, what the heck kind of surname is Zines? What the heck is Zines? Zines surname, where is that from? Australia? What?
Oh, gross.
Gross.
What?
For some reason, it sounds Jewish to me.
Zines with
You
an
go to.
X?
Aboriginal Australian surname, I'm guessing.
Wow. Okay,
So-
anyways.
She was born Panagiota Zinis. She changed her name to Paula.
Guess it's easier to fit in, I guess, if you have a more American sounding or a Western sounding name. Anyway, so this Paula chick ordered the administration to keep Abrego in a detention facility in Virginia while she weighs a lot. His renewed effort to prevent immigration officials from abruptly casting him out of the country for a second time in 5 months. Okay, all right. The administration illegally deported Abrego to El Salvador in March and then brought him back to the U.S. in June to face criminal charges. Okay, Abrego now contends that the administration's new plan to deport him to Uganda is very funny, but illegal effort to punish him for refusing to plead guilty to those charges. His lawyers say the administration offered to deport him to Costa Rica, but only if he pleaded guilty to the human smuggling charges he faces in Tennessee. Wow, so this judge is protecting a human smuggler from facing deportation? Like, listen, if he's helping smuggle people illegally across the border and you are a judge of the law, maybe we should deport him. And honestly, like this is my personal take here, okay? I think it's funny if you kind of just pick a Southern Hemisphere country and just deport them randomly. Like just randomize that somewhere in the Southern Hemisphere. There you go, buddy. Good luck getting back here.
How about we just send him to Australia?
The judge just spins one of those big, like, random wheels that goes.
No. The game is you have to put on a blindfold. They hand you a dart and you throw it on a world map.
Dude, televise it. This is a reality TV show. And then we follow around like some El Salvadorian grandma who gets deported to Malway or something like that. And this is a reality TV show. Okay, so Costa Rica, yeah. So Costa Rica has agreed to accept him and give him refugee status, and Abrego has consented to being sent there. His first deportation was deemed illegal because it violated a 2019 order from an immigration judge that barred him from being sent to El Salvador over concerns that he could be targeted for persecution by a local gang that had extorted his family. Wow. Sir, I can't go back to the country where I'm from because there are gangs there. So
the local gang that extorted his family is his own gang.
That too, right? After initially resisting court orders to facilitate his return to the U.S., the administration brought him back in June and charged him. They're like, oh, we're going to bring you back and charge you, I guess. And charged him in a human... It's funny. They would rather be in jail in America than in their home country.
Than a free man in another country.
Really
last
tells you
week,
something.
what the heck? Last week he was released from jail in Tennessee and allowed to return to Maryland. What is he doing in Maryland to rejoin his family? What?
So he was originally
how much?
from
Okay, I gotta
Maryland.
know. How much federal assistance is this man and his family on?
So
Any
that's the
amount is
thing.
too much.
This was the guy that they ran with the story. Maryland man to be deported, right?
Maryland man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If
Maryland
you
man.
just do a generic search for Maryland man deported, and this is him. It's awful.
Last week he was from jail. Early Monday morning, surrounded by a crowd of supporters and accompanied by his wife, Abrego showed up at the Immigration and Customs Enforcement office in Baltimore for a scheduled check-in. ICE officers detained Abrego on the spot. His attorney, Simon Sandoval Moschenberg, funny last name, said at a press conference outside the building where his client was arrested. The Department of Homeland Security said he would be processed for removal to Uganda. Very funny. In a last-ditch legal maneuver on Monday morning, Abrego asked Zines to block his quick deportation. So listen, his lawyer Moschenberg and the judge Zines are trying to help this Costa Rican gang member charged with human trafficking escape justice. Did I get that right?
El Salvadoran.
I'm sorry. Okay. He receives another full immigration trial and chance to contest the circumstances of his removal from the country. That's what we are going to be asking the district court to ensure that he is not put on any flight to any country whatsoever, whether it's Uganda, South Sudan, what have you, Sandoval Moschenberg said, as several Abrego backers punctuated the press conference with cries of "Free Kilmar." Free Kilmar? Freak Ilmar Ohan? Is that her name? Homeland Security spokesperson called Abrego's latest legal action a desperate Hail Mary attempt. At a hearing Monday afternoon, Zini said she had several concerns about the rapid-fire deportation proceedings, noting that Abrego might be entitled to go to his designated country of choice, Costa Rica, rather than Uganda. Listen, I'm all for it, dude. Just get him out. First flight out. Don't care where he wants to go. Rather than Uganda.
Just remember, your hard-earned tax dollars are going to pay for the attorneys fighting to get this guy out of the country.
Well, and the plane ticket out. But
right
if we can remove him and his family, there are short-term costs, yes, but then we never have to pay for any of their welfare ever again. So long-term, I think it's for the better.
We just need to bring them to abandoned oil tankers and just drop them off.
She also said that if the Justice Department used his deportation as a cudgel to coerce a guilty plea, it would be in violation of his constitutional rights. Newsflash, he's not American, my friend. You can't condition the relinquishment of constitutional rights in that regard, Zini said. Again, when you have people interpret the law, these judges, everything gets a bit fuzzy, right, based on their own personal interpretation. Justice Department Attorney Drew Ensign said Abrego's deportation was not, quote-unquote, imminent, and that the government would abide by court orders not to deport him while legal proceedings are underway. Again, paid for, as Ben pointed out, by the American taxpayer. Abrego, who entered the U.S. illegally over a decade ago, has lived in Maryland with his wife and children, who are U.S. citizens. To his supporters, his saga represents the most extreme excesses and abuses of Trump's mass deportation policy. After erroneously deporting Abrego to El Salvador in March, the administration mobilized to defend the mistake and embarked on a campaign to portray Abrego, who has no criminal convictions. That's not relevant because he is affiliated with MS-13 gangs and is in the country illegally, which by definition makes him a criminal. As a terrorist, criminal mastermind, and violent gang leader.
They are all criminals. Their very first action in the country was coming into the country illegally.
Correct, yes. But there is no conviction. That's they're playing with the words.
Well, I agree with them that is a true statement. Who has no criminal convictions? But that's like saying, pedophile rapist in the middle of a jury trial, who's on video evidence is like has no criminal convictions heading into this trial. It's like that's not really relevant. Concluded Abrego had been deprived.
It's all wordplay.
Yeah. And had concluded Abrego had been deprived of his constitutional right to due process. Not American. Abrego was abruptly arrested and sent to El Salvador in mid-March on one of the 3 planes that also carried more than 100 people subject to Trump's invocation of the Aliens Enemies Act, which we should be using that more frequently. Upon his arrival in El Salvador, Abrego was held for several weeks in the notorious anti-terrorism prison known as CSOT. He said in court papers that he suffered beatings, sleep deprivation, and psychological torture. In early June, 2 weeks after the Justice Department secretly secured a grand jury indictment against him for human smuggling, the administration brought him back to the United States so that they could charge him. And I love how the left is rallying around this guy as if he's some sort of beacon of family virtues when he's, objectively gang affiliated. He, human smuggling is quite literally the charge that he's brought under, and this is the person that they want to throw their weight behind.
I believe
he was also reported that he beat his wife.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Ben.
Well, listen, Ben, that is simply part of their culture. And so to be sensitive to other cultures, we need to be accepting of the way that they behave. It's like certain individuals might poop in streets.
I'll see myself out.
We also don't know what she said or did. Come on.
This is fair. It could have been a bad dinner. You didn't see those tacos, man. It was bad, okay?
Tuna
Maybe she was asking for it. Bro, come on. Yeah, catch these hands, casserole. What? The new lawsuit. Let's talk about it. The new lawsuit was also assigned to Zines, an Obama appointee, figures. Under a standing Maryland federal court order, the Trump administration is challenging the filing of the case resulted in an automatic order blocking Abrego's deportation through Wednesday afternoon, but Zini's order on Monday adds another indefinite layer of protection. I'm so glad that Judge Zini is just infinitely defending this wonderful individual to make sure that he has the right, not an American, to stay in this country and drain the taxpayers' money. Indefinite layer of protection for Abrego while his legal fight continues. Sandoval Moschenberg said Abrego was heartened by the crowd that turned out to support him Monday and by those who drew attention to his situation while he was jailed in El Salvador. This is a person who didn't even know that he had anyone looking out for him, much less the entire nation for 3 months that he was detained in El Salvador. No, I'm pretty sure this is like 50 screaming leftists online. The attorney said, this is a person who, feared that the world had forgotten about him. No, I think he feared justice.
I think the difference in price between a flight to Uganda versus a flight to Costa Rica from Maryland, what do you guys think the difference is?
One way, dude? I don't even care, man.
How much?
$100.
$1,000.
$200.
I'm willing to spend the $200 for the funny.
I that's what I'm thinking. If he wants to go,
can we make it? Can we make it even funnier? Can we send him to? Dude, I want to send him to Gaza just for fun.
Crowd fund.
we're sending the Gazans aid. You got Garcia coming in hot.
No, they wanted aid.
He's a great father, they say.
Great father, yeah.
Send him somewhere cold.
Speaking of $200 that may or may not be a waste of money. Ooh, look at that! I'm hot with the transitions tonight. Ben, have you ever used the agency triggers at all? Or sorry, the Ace Tech trigger systems. Gosh dang it, Richard.
No, because I don't want my guns to go off.
Right, yeah. Well, if you remember in their initial marketing of the Ace Trigger Tech system, I got to be careful with. Oh shoot! Gosh dang it! Back up.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Anyways, this is the owner of Ace Tech Trigger Systems, which is a completely novel, new, revolutionary trigger system for a Glock, much like the P320 design. And he came out and basically, well, I should say, to back up for a second, we covered this months ago when the trailer for it dropped, and it was essentially like, hey, this is a duty-style trigger. It's like a 1911. It's revolutionary for the Glock. They actually come to market. They're pretty expensive, like $250, $300, somewhere in that range. They're a premium trigger job for a Glock. But they do what they're supposed to do, is at least the claim, right? And so they brought it to market, and And Johnny Glocks, who's also manufactures Johnny Glock triggers, he does his own duty and competition style triggers and whatnot. He got his hands on one. He wanted to play around with it. And depending on the configuration, they're pretty darn easy to get to go off on their own. There was an aftermarket one in one of Joel Park's class where simply by inserting a metal mech guard magazine into the gun, you could get it to go off, which is sketchy. Now, completely aftermarket. So, but with any drop-in trigger system, the tolerances have to be wide enough to allow for aftermarket slides, frames, whatever it might be, right? You have to take that into account because somebody's going to drop it into their Shadow systems. Somebody's going to drop it into their Lone Wolf. Somebody's going to drop it into their Zev, right? Whatever it might be. So it wasn't drop safe, and there were some other issues going on, again, with inserting magazines. You could get the sear to disconnect and that striker to go home. And it is also, funnily enough, they marketed it. This is one of the big problems, is that they marketed it with like a guy in uniform and plate carriers and a level 3 holster, and it's like this is the best trigger on the market for duty.
It was very focused on law enforcement. There was no like USPSA competitor footage or anything like that. It was all tactical and knowledge transfer.
Oh, it's
well,
duty grade.
What's funny about that though is because it removes the Glock's trigger tab safety, it's not legal in USPSA. So this trigger, which was banned from USPSA because it removes the Glock tab safety, right? You're not allowed. There are certain things you're not allowed to do in USPSA. Like you can't run a single action gun and carry optics trench, and you can't like remove your safety or do other things, right? So this is a Glock without a tab safety, therefore it's like not allowed in USPSA. They came out, they updated everything basically. So the owner came out, he put out this video basically admitting that, hey, the marketing was wrong, we fixed the design, and they took accountability. And what they did was they offered either a full refund to everybody who bought the trigger, fantastic, a free upgrade to either the duty version, which is the new trigger coming out that has enhanced safety, or to the USPSA competition version, which is coming out now. Free refund, upgrade, or you
was
can do whatever you want.
Was it a voluntary upgrade?
Well, so that it's not a voluntary upgrade in the same sense that Sig did with because Sig said, no, our guns are drop safe. But if you want, there's this enhanced safety thingamajig that might work a little bit better, but our guns are still very safe. With this, they're saying the original triggers have issues. You can keep them, but we will give you a free upgrade or full refund. To my knowledge, Sig never offered a refund, and in fact, there are still 500,000 unupgraded, non-drop safe P320s floating around, and I have one of them. My P320 is a pre-upgrade P320, which I bought in 2025. So a lot of people did not go through with the voluntary upgrade program, and there are a lot of unsafe P320s floating around, not to mention the other issues that those guns may or may not have.
It's almost as if they should have just done a mandatory recall.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Maybe.
I'm the CTO.
Oh, we can't see the screen. Oh, there we go.
No, I got it. So I posted this video to my story when I saw that Ben had posted it, because I was like, this is like, I think Ben called it a PR masterclass, but this is, I said to this, like, this is what Sig should have done. Sig should fire their PR team, because this guy, the owner, comes out, admits to all the problems, and proposes real fixes and solutions and to make the customer whole.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm the CTO and co-founder of TriggerTech. I want to take some time to talk to you about the ACE trigger system, as a series of videos have been released questioning the safety of this trigger. While we are proud of the development work that went into the ACE trigger system, we recognize that we didn't get everything right with the initial product launch, and that's on us. As a company,
accountability 20 seconds into the video. Wow. I think he should have come out and called Johnny Glocks an engagement hacking grifter. I think that would have been much funnier.
It would have.
I know I've talked about TriggerTech. I know I've talked about TriggerTech, but I've had issues with, I don't know what the issues were exactly, but like triggers that didn't work. And it was a no questions asked, send us the trigger, new one's already in the mail. No questions asked. So like from a customer service standpoint, I'm not surprised that they're just like, hey, we messed up. This is wrong. We're going to fix it.
Those were
I'm
your
actually
700?
One was for a large frame 308 gas gun, and I think the trigger just got absolutely beat to shit in the gas gun because it was overgassed. And then one of their, I think it was like the special triggers or something like that. I was having, no matter how heavy I would make the trigger, every time I closed the bolt, the firing pin would drop.
Ooh.
And it was just one of those things where it was just like, well, this is weird. Like, this is like brand new trigger out of the box. This shouldn't be like that. So something was wrong, and they're like, yeah, just send it back. There's a brand new one in the mail already.
I like that they went ahead
Interesting.
and put one in the mail rather than waiting for you to send yours back. That's huge.
Well, I know Trigger Tech is famous mostly for their gas gun stuff. Like, because I've used Trigger Tech's. I had in that Next Level Armory rifle. I had one of their Trigger Tech diamond triggers in that thing, and that thing was fantastic. But I haven't messed around with any of their bolt triggers.
This was it's a 6.5 Creed like gas gun set up for like precision rifle, kind of like gas gun matches and stuff like that. And I was having like hammer fouls, so you'd pull the trigger and it would fire, and you wouldn't even like release the hammer, and it would like double tap. And so it was like something was jacked with it. And
yeah, no, that's got to be.
It had like it had like 5K through it, so it had a shit ton of matches through it. But it was just like, all right, well, it did something weird, so here you guys go.
Well, so I've had issues with I got a company that sent me a trigger that never came to the market, and I think they might actually be dead now, called Ballistic Engineering. They sent me a couple triggers to do testing and evaluation on. So I did it, but I ended up getting doubles on a lot of them, and because they had sear wear and disconnector issues and stuff like that. So I ended up sending them back, and allegedly he updated them or whatnot, but then I'm pretty sure the company just went under. So the triggers are hard to get right because people are always chasing the shortest, crispest, bestest thing ever. And when you start getting into those, 1 pound, 1.8 pound ranges, things get a little funky sometimes.
It's funny. I've been like my precision rifle career, like that bell curve where it's like heavy triggers because I want to be safe and practice fundamentals, and then it's like I want a light trigger because I want to be super accurate. And then it's like now, like 10, 15 years into the precision rifle journey, it's like heavy trigger still works, is just as good.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like people do with their handguns too. Like if you take a Glock trigger and you reduce the firing pin spring weight and you reduce the safety plunger weight and you put it in an aftermarket shoe that reduces your travel distance and whatnot, like you've changed the safety parameters of that gun. So it was drop safe. Is it anymore? I'm not really sure. And people chase that, that number, like that weight number, as if that's the most important thing. And then Brantley Merriam takes second place at nationals with a stock Glock 17 trigger, right? It's like it doesn't actually matter that much.
Yeah, there's something to be said about. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to. Oh, I'm sorry. I was only saying, was there something to be said about when people would. Oh, okay, we're playing the game. All right,
get it out now.
Yeah, when you chase performance, you're giving something else up. There's always that give and take with anything, any mod you do, and I think a lot of people don't realize that until they have a lot of experience with firearms.
Yeah.
Real quick before we start the video back up, I got to get to work early tomorrow, so I'm gonna bounce out of here.
No,
right
Jack,
now.
no.
You guys have a good day.
Hey, have a good night. Appreciate it.
Have a good tomorrow.
You sounded great tonight.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Sorry. I'm working on that poll. I'll get that poll in the chat. There we go. You guys can let us know. Who should we deport? Abrego or Trench?
As a company that prides itself on improving performance and inspiring confidence, we are committed to making it right. Before I talk about what we are going to do to take care of our customers, I wanted to take a moment to explain the intention behind the competitive special version of the ACE trigger system. As a lifelong competition pistol shooter and gunsmith, I wanted us to design a drop-in trigger system that could transform the Glock into a high-end 1911-2011 competition pistol. The goal was to take a factory Glock and upgrading this gun with our trigger to allow it to compete head-to-head against guns that are costing sometimes $2,000 to $5,000 more, like 2011s and 1911s. That was the intention, and with that I feel we've been successful. While we have tested the competitive special version of the ACE trigger extensively prior to launch, we have since learned a firearm equipped with this trigger may not meet our expectations of impact robustness and drop performance in all possible configurations. We also expected our new lever safety design would be approved by USPSA and IPSC rules, and it was not. We are taking accountability and will be doing the following. Firstly, we will be better communicating the intended use and limitations of the trigger system to our current and future customers. Secondly, we're developing more models of the ACE trigger system. In our next release, which already has received USPSA approval, we aim to develop features that will reduce the sensitivity to firearm tolerances and improve the drop safety and impact robustness. In the future, we will also develop a duty version of the ACE trigger system, which will be intended for carry and law enforcement use. For current owners of the competitive special ACE trigger system, we are rolling out 3 options. The first is to continue to use the trigger with the reminder that it is intended to be used in controlled environments like competitions and ranges. This version is not designed to be used for duty or carry applications or any other use. The second option is to exchange the competitive special with either the USPSA approved version or the one that's intended for carry or duty applications. And the third option is to get a full refund. We will be providing information shortly on how to return your trigger or begin the exchange process. We appreciate your trust and patience as we refine this product. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to support@triggertech.com.
So essentially, that's Trigger Tech just stepping up and being chads about it. They got this one wrong. Fortunately, they caught it before somebody was like seriously injured. They knew that they were having some issues. So full refund, upgrade to a different trigger, whether it's the duty style or the competition style. Again, they have a new competition style that's actually approved for USPSA because it does have a trigger safety. Now, the duty version, that's in the future. So I don't know what that's going to be like. Personally, again, for duty stuff, I don't know how Ben feels about it, but if it's for a very serious application, your skills are infinitely more important than some new trigger gizmo. I think that's common sense.
The thing that caught, so I haven't seen this video, so that's the first time I watched it, but he said in there, it's like, oh, we want to take the Glock to like directly compete against the 2011s or the 1911s. It's like, well, the reason people like Glocks is because they're not a 1911 or a 2011. They're just robust, durable hunks of plastic that go bang, unless that one, situation where you got to put a gun to, the forehead and it doesn't go off.
Yeah, the offset.
But it's like there's a reason Glock is the most popular law enforcement handgun out there is because they're drop dead reliable, and do the triggers.
Put one in Trench's hand.
Yeah.
Operator error.
Okay. So, if I want a 2011, cool, I'm going to go buy a 2011. If an agency wants staccatos or platypuses or whatever the frickin' version that they want, they're going to go buy that. They're not just going to be like, okay, let's put this jank ass trigger in a gun and hope it works. That's.
I mean, I applaud people for trying something new and different, right? I think that's fine. But I think, taking a Glock and being like, I'm going to make a raced out open gun out of a Glock, I think that's just a losing proposition, And I mean, I have aftermarket triggers and I play around with that sort of stuff because that's like little preference things. But trying to chase a, 2.5 pound, 3 pound 2011 trigger, or that even that style, that feel out of a Glock, it's not what it's designed to do,
It's like my work guns, all factory Glock triggers, work patrol carbines, all mil-spec god-awful mil-spec AR triggers, bolt gun, freaking 5 pound single stage trigger. It's because they're work guns for work purposes for a reason. Now if they smash it out of the park, and I can eat my own words, and I'm called a hypocrite. Great. I hope that duty trigger is amazing. I hope it's great.
But as a police officer, are you going to employ a brand new revolutionary design for your Glock in a duty role?
Well,
I
the
would.
answer to that question is just look at what Aimpoint released and see how far behind the curve they are marketing that device.
Well, speaking of, now, if you haven't seen the way that the trigger looks, it completely changes the trigger bar and sear and all that sort of stuff. And in fact, it looks like a switch because of the way that the backplate engages. Because of that, there's this wonderful rabbit hole on Reddit on California guns. I know, brace yourself for some cringe, but I did think this was quite funny. So my concerns about this trigger were proven correct. The disconnect indeed looks enough like an autoseer for it to be easily mistaken as one. Be aware of the risk when purchasing one. He bought one on launch day, quickly found out that the disconnect unit will not fit a Shadow System slide as their backplate slot is not OEM. Took it to a gunsmith to have them mill the disconnect unit backplate down to fit the Shadow System slot. I explained to them what it was, and they accepted it. Well, they ended up dropping it off at a machinist without explaining what it was. He later called the cops, who seized it and gave seizure paperwork to the original gunsmith, who handed it to me when I showed up to pick up the completed work. I get in contact with the officer, who says he will have to contact Trigger Tech and the ATF. After 3 weeks, they clear it with him. He takes 2 more weeks to write a report to submit it to the evidence division to get it released. He never let me know it was ready to be released, so I ended up finding out 2 weeks later when I called the evidence unit out of curiosity. At the last second, the California DOJ tried to tell the evidence unit that it was illegal for me to possess because it's a forced reset trigger. I informed the evidence unit that the California DOJ determination is impossible, as no official FRT even exists for Glock handguns. So the evidence unit contacts their quote-unquote range master, who confirms it's a semi-auto trigger. On this guidance, they recontact the California DOJ, who retract their determination. Within 40 minutes, I was at the station ready to pick up my property. So the disconnect unit does not fit a Shadow slide. Trigger Tech told me they will eventually produce Shadow compatible disconnect units, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so funny story. Reddit man brings his switchy looking backplate to a machinist to fit his slide. Machinist is like, this looks like a switch, calls the cops, and this guy doesn't get his product for like 6, 7, 8 weeks. And possibly could have caught a charge for it as well, because the California DOJ don't mess around with this sort of thing. Big
the people who are making the gun laws, they are experts. Remember this.
Ugh.
Well, and then 99% of, well, not even 99.9% of cops aren't gun people, so they don't know the fucking difference.
Yeah, I mean, on first look, it looks like a switch, And if you're a machinist who doesn't know what you're looking at, you're like, I don't think I should be installing this in this guy's gun. Am I aiding and abetting by doing this if you don't know what you're looking at? So, I mean, yeah. All right, gents. Well, that
dropped the video.
Sorry, what's up?
Trench just dropped his I Lie About USPSA video.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, I was just about to get out of here, but I guess not.
I gotta go get the dogs first, and then I'll be back, and then we'll dive into this.
I gotta go pee too.
All right, well, fine. I'll read super chats while you guys are gone. Me and Bones will keep the chat company.
Sorry.
Hell yeah.
Fine. We gotta look at our pretty faces. All right, let's see here. Owen's Bone for 5 says Trump flips on a dime? ? Wait, are you saying that Trump is the Trench of presidents? Seems fitting.
Lamau.
The Trench. Dude, are you eating Pop-Tarts, bro? What flavor? They're good. I love Pop-Tarts. Cinnamon roll. Ah, oh, damn it. I like the fruit ones. Cinnamon roll.
I'm a certified pastry flavored Pop-Tart enjoyer.
I see.
The blueberry ones are pretty good, though.
Yeah, I like blueberry, too. Ray Holocaust for 2 says, what are your thoughts on the AKB-23 L85A2 quote-unquote clone? Well, I'm not an L85 enjoyer, so I don't know if I would ever buy a clone of an LA85, even though it might work better than the L85.
I have held an L85 once and went, wow, this is kind of cool. And I don't know why I'd want a replica of a weapon system that subhuman troglodytes use.
British calling them humans is a little harsh.
Yeah.
Gabriel Baker for 5 says, missed the last few weeks of streams because of work. Well, hey, having work is never a problem, man. Glad to be back. Glad to have you here, Gabriel. Appreciate having you on. Strapped, LB Style for 5 says, focus, the 191 is out of 125,000, not 8,000 on those M18s. Let me go back to the article. I don't know if you're correct about that. So this article, at least according to Soldier Systems, Strapped, I mean, you might be correct, but this is specifically talking about the Air Force Global Strike Command and their 8,000, right? And so 191, yeah, so this is talking about the commands, Air Force Global Strike Command's inventory, which is only 8,000. So according to, I'm not saying you're wrong, but according to this article, it is specifically the command's M18 inventory has 191 defects out of 8,000, unless I'm reading that wrong.
No, you got that correct.
It is, yeah, I was going to say that's correct, because it was a post command that did this, not the entirety of the Air Force, or even the Air Force SF, which is security forces. It was just this specific installation and all of the ones they had in inventory.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Dick Cheney's heart for 2 says, get deported to Uganda, pick primary sidearm loadout. Oh no. Well, listen, primary is just going to be an AR-15, a Geisley URGR 14.5, okay? With ATACR or primary arms RDB sitting on top with a red dot, light lamb, all the sort of fun stuff. That'd be my primary. Secondary, just be a Glock 17, just something lightweight and easy to
Gang
use,
shit.
reliable. Yeah, I'm boring, dude. I don't know what else you would want. Maybe an M249 or something like that. Maybe that would be more useful. Like, I'm getting out of Uganda one way or the other, bros. Thank you, Dick
Maybe,
Cheney.
you know what? I'll give you something interesting. Maybe I'll pack my SKS Model M since it takes AK mags and uses 7.62x39. I can scavenge. All right,
actually, Battlefield pickups might be the way to go.
I'm going to big brain move and go with the Black Hawk. I know it didn't go real well the first time around in Africa, but I think
primary Black Hawk, secondary JDAM,
Black Hawk pilot and fuel.
Yeah. Secondary, yeah, Black Hawk pilot. I need that. Andrew Vachon for $5 says, I hear Russia needs conscripts. Trump could do the funniest thing ever. Bro, deporting people to Russia to be instantly conscripted. Yeah. Hey Garcia, guess what?
You would end up on YouTube so fast.
That would be amazing.
Propaganda.
Guess what, buddy? You are now drone fodder. Congratulations. You're the guy they send out first to draw on the drones. Sorry, man.
Trump said I'd be joining the military. Wait,
not
why am I in
ours.
Russia? I never said it was the American military.
Strapped LB Style for 2 says, it's funny they are uplifting this guy. Yeah, Garcia is not the guy you want to rally behind, bros. Like, I don't think this is a good move. It's like dialing in around the trans community after they shoot up a church. It's like, not a good move. Dick Cheney's heart for 2 says, we need a poll, which we did. Yeah, deport to Uganda, Abrego or Trench. Trench is winning that poll with 72%, by the way. Dominating that poll. Dominant fashion win. Strapped LB Style for 2 says, Glock's Gen 6 coming out in September, ? Well, they have the patents for it. I have not personally heard anything. So, I mean, 2026 maybe, but September's like pretty early on. Like, we're talking like next week, bro. So
Yeah.
I don't think November.
I don't think
Well, yeah, but I mean, it could be middle of November or whatever it is, So, I don't know. I don't think.
I would be.
I would be shocked if it came out in September, especially considering that they just pulled all COA sales off the civilian market to go after contracts and stuff like that. So I would be shocked if they're doing that at the exact same time that they bring out the Gen 6. I would be shocked.
That's what I was just getting ready to say is why would they do that now that they just pulled the COA and said that it's not going to be around until 2026, and then you have SHOT Show right around the corner? Why would they not? Why would they debut a product in the middle?
To
of
be
the fall?
honest, Glock is bigger than SHOT Show. I don't know if Glock would really care. I mean, it's good for marketing and whatnot, but I mean, Glock could drop the Gen 6 February 12th, and people are going to go ape over it, right? I mean, it's like it doesn't matter. It's Glock, It's still the biggest handgun in the world, right? Regardless if the P320 has some contracts right now for the U.S. military, it's still the biggest handgun in the world. Strapped DLB style says, I will paste the correct article, Stars and Stripes. Look at the article. And then he says for another 2, thank you, sir. Look at the article I posted in chat. Well, I'm willing to be corrected on this. Let me see if I can find it. So Stars and Stripes. Stars. Let me see if I can find it. Stars and Stripes. M18 Air Force.
Side note, if you have a pistol candidate that you would like to see replace the M17, the M18, the Department of Defense has the PED program in which you can recommend a pistol to replace the M17, M18. So go wild with that, chat.
There you go. Gen 6 has a modular frame. So it's going to be even more modular because you can actually switch out the grip lengths on it. All right, let me see. So General Thomas Bussier, who leads the GSC, signed off on the return to duty after a week-long inspection of all of its 8,000 M18s. Okay, so 8,000 M18s. Come on, get out of here. Which later expanded to all 825,000. Okay, but this still says the same thing. So the inspection of the Global Strike Command's M18s, which is 8,000, inspections found problems with 191 of the command's M18s. So I don't believe that all 125,000 inspections have been completed yet. I believe, if that's what I'm reading with this article, only the command's 8,000 have finished their evaluation. So I still believe, even with this article, it still says that these are the command's M18s that have 191 issues, and that the command has 8,000 M18s. So I don't.
So the number's only going to go up.
So I'm reading right here. It says the inspection of Global Strike Command's M18s, which later expanded to all of the Air Force's about 125,000 M18 pistols.
Right. So Crack says we don't know the failure rate of the 125K. So I believe even with this article strapped, it still says that the 191 issues are with the command's M18, so which is the Global Strike Force Command Center, right? They have 8,000, not the rest. Oh, that's a beautiful dog. Black Lab? I mean, obviously,
being viciously
as it's
attacked
eating your face. Yeah, so I think strapped it still is that. Oh wait, we have to watch that trench grenade video.
This is just the initial batch that they did. This is the initial ratio they have based on that command's testing.
Oh, am I reading too fast? I don't know. Most of which problems going where internet force most position for service enhanced.
I can't read it.
Well, so
on my screen.
again,
it's too small, but...
no, you're good. So the command is adding enhanced inspection features for its M18 inventory, which will include new inspection criteria for the parts of the M18 found to wear fast, as said Lieutenant Colonel George Hearn. But this is again for the Air Force Global Strike Command Security Forces Commander. So this is still in reference to that command center, unless command. It's all again. It's everything is about the command. So with the Air Force GSC, right? So
now you could say that these might become standard practices for the rest of the Air Force.
Well, but I still don't know if we're dividing 125,000 or if we're dividing 8,000, right? I mean, I would say the way that I am reading this it appears to me that the 191 problems are out of the 8,000, not out of the entire Air Force's 125,000. That's the way it appears to me.
That's how I'm reading it too. I would agree.
Yeah.
It would make sense because you got 8,000 like command level personnel. So like your commanders who are overseeing the line guys, like they don't want to get themselves shot. So they want their guns looked at first.
Yeah, and I mean, because remember, it was their 8,000 that went under inspection first, and then the entire Air Force got a review of it. So I don't think the 125,000 has been finished yet. I mean, that's the way that the chat's reading it the same way. So I think that's the consensus, although we could be wrong.
Yeah, small arms repairmen are about to be very busy for the next couple weeks.
All right, so here's Trench Grenade's USPSA Stolen Valor, My Failures video, which he just put up during the stream.
USPSA Stolen Valor is real and it can hurt you. Guys, today we're going to have a very not so fun discussion going over my professional failures and my competitive shooting failures. To give everybody a little bit of context, yesterday I was on a live stream with Focus Strip, Reds, Arms, and Charlie. Charlie made some corrections to some statements that I made in a previous video saying that I had won 2 USPSA matches. That is, in fact, not true. So I would like to apologize right up front to Charlie for being so passionately wrong yesterday and misrepresenting my practice score numbers. And I would like to apologize to everyone that was involved in that conversation or anyone who I may have misled. That was not my intention. I am here to set the record straight.
Hey, wow, damn, fantastic opening statement from Trench Grenade. Man, if only Sig could learn from drill sergeants and, Eastern European trigger manufacturers.
Yeah. Eastern
European hire this man immediately.
Automatically better PR.
Apparently, if you check the comments, there's a few people who are calling him out for continuing to lie and mislead people. One from Alabama.
Well,
veteran.
Can I keep going through the video real fast before we get to this?
This will be a not so fun discussion, but I would like to lay out all of my failures and successes, both professionally and competitive shooting, and things that I have done. So that way, moving forward, there will be no questions about who I am as a person and as a competitive shooter. So let's just have fun with this very fun video. I have taken second place in two separate USPSA matches, not first place. Second place. I did not win those matches. I took second place in 2 USPSA matches. I took first place in 2 steel challenge matches. That is a very different thing. For those that don't know what that is, USPSA, you're doing a lot more running, shooting a lot of cardboard primarily, and some steel. But steel challenge typically is like 5 plates, and you hit a stop plate at the end, and it's a very different thing. So I have won 2 steel challenge matches and taken second place in 2 USPSA matches, and I've shot a lot of matches, right? I'm not going to go through the whole list, but those are the highest ones that I can kind of reference, right? Typically in these matches, I shoot limited, but I can't say too much more because I would really like to not dox myself, and I value my family's safety. So yeah, I apologize for that. And if I misled anybody, I never have.
Well, so he is correct about that too. Unfortunately, with practice score, it's like everybody's full name is just posted up. So if you want to be anonymous, you practice score is like not your jam, I guess. You used to be able to have like your pseudonym online, so you could call yourself like Jimbo the Runner or whatnot, and that's what you would be signed up as the match on. But now it is your first and last name. So now, like every match, like you can literally look up my name right now, Jonathan Campbell, go to practice score, and you can see that I won my last USPSA match, right? Subjective truth. And you can just look up every single. You can look up literally. Well, no, it's not stolen valor. I did win my last USPSA match. Overall winner, not just division winner. Overall winner of my last USPSA match. Okay, yeah, and you can look up every place I've been to, every match performance I've been to. You can see a pattern of what matches I go to, so you can probably figure out what matches I'm going to next. So I mean, it's a little bit sketchy. Yeah, if you can see, John is at Canton the 3rd Thursday of every month, for this USPSA match where everybody has to walk around with unloaded guns. That's quite interesting. I mean,
write that shit down. Write that shit down. Write that shit down.
Write it down. Yeah, but that's just the way he's right. So I mean, I empathize with Trench and any public person. And doing USPSA type stuff, like it's a little bit sketchy because as we've seen, gentlemen, there are weirdos out there who hate you.
The problem is he's a public figure and he's in the military, so nothing is secretive. Like Your entire military record is public
Well, that too. Yeah.
record. It's like me and law enforcement. If someone wants to go and spend 30 seconds on the internet and figure it out, they can figure out where I work. It's not fucking rocket science. And
Yeah.
so if someone wants to go up and look how shitty of a USPSA shooter I am, cool. You got to scroll a long way, guy. So it's like, why lie? People are gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that that's just a fact of life. Like, it's not. Unfortunately, it's in this day and age. Like, if you're a California resident, they've leaked your home address many times, right? So it's like, and sometimes in voting records, if you look at public voting records, they have your address listed sometimes, and that's just public information, bro. So it can be rough. I get it. I get wanting to be anonymous online, but
Reno like 5 times.
Yeah, the 2 separate times the California DOJ leaked his address online. 2 separate occasions. Along with every other CCW holder in California. Twice.
Bruh.
Whoopsie daisies.
I've won first place in any USPSA matches. I've only taken second place, and I've only taken first place in 2 Steel Challenge matches. I've shot well over 30 to 40 matches, both professionally in the Army and privately in USPSA and Steel Challenges. The accomplishments that I have accomplished, right? I've won the I-Corps competition with my team twice, okay? 2 years back to back, I was a member of a team, and I shot very well, and we won twice, representing my unit in 425, formerly 425 in Alaska. It's an airborne unit in Alaska, where I was assigned to Comanche Company at that time in 1G. I've also been the coach and shooter of the 425 Brigade shooting team, and we took, not brigade, battalion, the 1G shooting team, where we competed in a 425 Brigade shooting comp. So the 1G team with like 5 to 6 other battalions, we won that competition as well. I was the coach of that team, and we won that brigade shooting comp representing 501st Geronimo in Alaska. So there's another one. I scored in the top 20% of active duty soldiers at an all-Army competition in Fort Benning, Georgia. For those of you guys that don't know, that's a competition that has rifle and pistol. You shoot national matches and some sportier things. I took 20%, right? I can't give the exact number because I don't want to dox myself, but I did.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, bro. The more you talk online, the more specifics you give out. Like, it is just an inevitability that you dox yourself. Like, so if you have your face online, like the only person on this panel that is hard to find exactly who he is or where he lives is Richard. That's it.
Except the one screenshot I have when he doxed himself.
Yeah, except for that one screenshot that we all saved of Richard. That one time for 1 second on one stream only.
It is out there.
Yeah.
But I'm not there anymore.
Top 20%, upper pack of that competition. I shot very well, but I kind of blew it in the later half of the competition because I shot very poorly with my M17 handgun. I have won my EIC bronze pistol badge, and I have won my EIC bronze rifle badge, and another failure, right? I'll go over one more failure here. I have failed an Army school for marksmanship evaluations. This is going back almost 8 years probably now at this point, but I have failed a Army school for marksmanship purposes. If I had to guess, it would be roughly 8-ish, maybe 7 to 8-ish years ago. But since that failure, I have overcome that failure and went back to that course and passed that course and went on to another course that's in that pipeline and passed that course as well. And then thanks to that failure, I went on to earn my EIC and became a competitive shooter. Though not a very great one, I did go on to become a competitive shooter due to that failure. But I have failed an Army school due to rifle marksmanship. It was specifically a backup iron sight evaluation. Yeah, I won't get to, that was I would just call it a traumatic emotional event, but I have failed. I failed that Army school, and that, that was an ego hit, but, obviously I have a lot of growing to do, and obviously I've kind of internalized that failure, and that is kind of what led to my drive to win my EIC Excellence in Competition badges. I have failed as a leader. When I was a specialist, I was a not so good team leader.
Well, so we don't need, unless you guys want to check out the whole video, we'll actually just drop the link in chat for you gentlemen who want to watch the whole thing. But, I think the USPSA Stolen Valor was the thing that people were the most interested in for that. Richard, I saw you sent me one. Let me see if I can find it on here.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that
I'll find
Randy
it.
had sent me.
Tim Kennedy Jr. over here. Ex-Navy SEAL. No, it's a joke about the USPSA Stolen Valor, bro. Co-respect, fist bump, called out so bad he had to admit the truth. I mean, it is okay. It is okay to admit failing. Now this one, Alabama veteran. So, bro, you're still misleading people. I checked your practice score again. Yes, you won Steel Challenge in your division, not overall in the overall match, but you didn't clarify, did you? That's what makes practice score in USPSA so cool. We can see everyone and everything. Yes, you have taken second place in USPSA, but to clarify, there was only 2 of you in that specific division. Oh no! Oh, that's funny. That's funny. But say whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Now, to be very clear here, if you win in your division, you can take that as a win. I do not fault anybody for that. So, for instance, at USPSA, what was it, Production Nationals, the CZ shooter won. He took first in, because it was Production Nationals, so he took first in production. However, he was not the overall winner, right? Somebody else with Christian Sailor with an open gun won, right? But open is another division. That doesn't count. That's not your problem. You're shooting in production with 15-round mags. You're not expected to beat that guy, okay? So winning in your division is a win. So I give Trench a full pass on that. Winning in your division is a win, right? It's like a revolver guy going up against a staccato. It's like, obviously, the revolver division is slower, but that's why he wins in his division. Now, now the funny one is, yeah, I took second place in the USPSA match out of 2 people. That is funny. I do find that funny. But no, I think that he did take accountability, going over his failures, which is way better than having a huge ego on yourself. And again, I think winning in your division, that is winning. Fair enough. Call it a win, whatever you want to do. The caveat, now, I don't really like to do that personally, because if there's only like 20 people at a match and 3 people in my division and I win my division, I'm like, that doesn't feel quite right, because I'm still competing with everybody else there, and nobody else there is like so far above me that I couldn't catch them, even though I'm not in their division, right? So I personally wouldn't claim a division win as an overall win. I think if you go through my practice score, I think there's 24 on it, and I think there's 6 wins, could be 5 wins as well, but that's overall wins, not just division wins. I don't count division wins, but for him, if you call that a win in your division, you're not competing with open guys or whatever it is, I think that's fine. I give him a pass on that. And I do think that coming off the bat and admitting that you were wrong does take a bit of integrity to do that. It does show a willingness to take accountability, which I think is the problem that people have, one of the biggest problems that people have with Trench in general.
Yeah, I think that there's he didn't come out being like, well, this is the mistake that was made and I shouldn't have to clarify or anything. He's like, oh, this is exactly what it is, and that does take integrity to be able to do that and tell everybody exactly what happened and own the fact that you had generalized or made kind of lies of omission, I guess, not giving the full story of what you were saying, Matt.
Yeah. Well, and just saying I hope it was unintentional, but in that live stream yesterday with Charlie and Rads, he was like, yeah, I won my last USPSA match. And it's like, did you know that you didn't, or did you lie that you didn't?
That's what I was curious about. Or was he saying like top 3 for second and third is considered a win,
Well, by that definition, I win a lot, okay? I win a lot of times.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't shoot a lot of USPSA, but I'm saying
I consider top 10 a win, baby. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's and again, go check out the video. It's pinned or not pinned in chat, but it is there in chat for anybody who wants.
I won one USPSA match because I was the only one who was a goober and brought a PCC. I came out in first place in PCC.
That happens, bro, which is why, again, in this chat, if you're unaware, we do not consider PCC shooters human. Not a real thing. Sports ball, yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, USPSA is a form of sports ball. You got divisions and rules and gamer guys. I guess it's more like F1 because everybody's trying to cheat to the highest level, although that happens in sports ball too. But it's more like,
so you're shooting ball ammo.
No, there you go. Not everybody. Some people are shooting hollow points out there. Because for some, I don't know why that is, but for some reason, a lot of the match ammo, like the match ammo, is hollow points. So, and I'm not sure if that's just due to, well, I think it's due to bullet length because you get a longer bullet when it's hollow points. right? Because it's hauled. I don't know why.
Some of it also. Oh, go ahead, Richard. I'm sorry.
You were first. Go ahead.
I think some of it has to do with the impact on the cardboard, where ball ammo kind of leaves that jagged circle with a grease ring. The hollow point cuts a hole in the target, so when there's edge or peripheral hits, it's a lot easier to score or argue a higher classification.
Min-maxing the line breaks.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. I gotta.
Same thing that they used to do with wad cutter ammo for.
I'm about
to exploit that, baby. Damn. All right, I didn't know that.
Also, because the hollow points are usually more controlled as far as the grain weight. They're separated out a little bit.
All right. I'm upset now because in my second to last match, in my second to last match, I took second place, I want to say, and I had a mic that was a line cutter on a tuxedo, bro. So if I had been using hollow points, I would have not had that mic. Damn it!
Hey, you got second. That's a win, though. You won.
It's a win. Yeah, it's a win, baby.
We've just unlocked a further level of autism in China's
damn it. Well, it's actually funny. I bought all that ammo there on the floor. That's a bunch. Oh, hello there. Thank you, Moonman. You can see the dancing anime chicks, which Moonman absolutely enjoys. But no, all that ammo on the floor behind me is testing ammo for the new Shadow 2 to figure out what shoots well, what I can, kind of go forward with sustainably. So none of it's hollow points though. So maybe I have to invest in hollow points.
Well, just send it all to me and I'll shoot it for you.
Oh yeah, we'll do. Well, no, I kind of want to do PCC as well, just because it's an excuse to do like rifle practice, but in USPSA. So I mean, because the pointing and the safeties and all that sort of stuff is the same, and it's shooting at speed, right?
It was a fun time. It was very silly when I did it.
Does Randy want to come on?
It gets funky in USPSA because you're not required to actuate the safety when you're moving. So like the TISM
I still
gets
would
triggered
though.
in some of
That's just a hard coded thing for me.
But my TISM gets triggered at a match. You'll just be like.
Well, technically at matches they're supposed to DQ you from the stage, not from the match, but for running with your finger in the trigger guard. They're supposed to DQ you from the stage if you do that. So
it's just not having the safety on is just like I know the people in the chat here in the group are just like, yeah, you put the safety on, but someone who's like, oh, I can shave a 10th off my hit factor time or whatever, like I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I don't know though. I mean, if you're bringing it up to target, that safety is probably already off. So I mean, I don't think it adds any time at all. All right,
it's something else I gotta think about. It's more movement, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't see it, but I'm also not like a USPSA shooter,
We're now spiraling into the whole downward spiral of cops leaving the safety off on their ARs on calls.
Yeah. This is my safety.
It's funny. I have a SBR Aero EPC 9 lower that does not have an upper. I just need to get it. It's just been sitting there lonely for like 6 months at this point. I need to get another upper.
You should give it to me.
No, bro. That's an SBR, dog. You want a form 4 transfer an SBR right now?
So
I don't know how any of that works.
Sitting in my safe right now.
I'll cry.
We're gonna send Randy to go assault Trench at a match. I mean, in Minecraft. Sorry. Genosian for 5 says Trench is a certified gun lolcow at this point. No, the difference between Trench and a true lolcow is lolcows never accept responsibility for anything, and I think that's what makes them lolcows, because they never change. Like Boogie or Wings or Cyrax or the guy at King Cobra who just died. Like those guys, they never change, they never adapt, they are permanent lolcows. Trench has shown the ability to adapt and change. Thank you, Genosian. Randy, how's it going, man?
Good. It's especially good, I guess. Well,
okay. Were you watching this video with a boner?
No. No. But the last few days I've been feeling pretty vindicated, or I should say the last week on my channel I've been feeling pretty vindicated. I put out that video about LPVOs and why I don't like them, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're just a fat guy that doesn't shoot." And then the next day I found a clip of Ben, Matt, and Nick talking about why they hate LPVOs. And I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
I came to the same conclusion that these guys did, just in my own use. And then now with the trench thing where it's like, oh, Randy doesn't do this and Randy's a liar and all this stuff. It's like, I don't have to make a video like saying, oh, I apologize, I lied about XYZ. Like, I don't have to make that because I've been on the internet to know like long enough that like the internet always finds out. It's undefeated. It's going to win. Like, you just got to keep it real. And if you're not being real, eventually someone's going to find out.
100%.
Yeah, I think that the internet will allow BS for a while. And then people catch on.
I think Ben's got to head out.
I gotta cut loose, kids.
Around King.
Have a good night, Ben.
I got like a little baby to feed. Later.
Thanks for hanging out, man. Have a good night.
Hopefully he's not doing the feeding. That's freaking awkward. Wow. Well, Randy, did you have any other thoughts on that trench grenade video or anything else before we just wrap it up with super
I
chats?
guess my 2 cents, like I posted, I think on his video, integrity is the only thing you can't get back. I don't think taking personal accountability restores your integrity. I think once you've sold it for any type of credibility, clicks, products, anything like that, that part of it's gone. You're a little bit lower as far as integrity. Taking personal accountability goes like, hey, you know, I'm trying to do better, but you'll never get it back the way it is, you know? Like,
right. So it's not restorative, right? So if you wreck somebody's car, like you can apologize and admit that you did wrong, but it doesn't fix the problem, right? It doesn't stop the action from happening.
And even if you repair it, it's not 100% again, probably the way that it used to be, you know?
Correct, because they still had to
It'll
not
never
have a
be.
car for a while, or it doesn't work the same, or it's dinged up, or whatever it might be now. So I got it.
So, I mean, I hope he takes some time, thinks about the internet a little bit, and decides what he wants to do. And he can figure it out from there. But man, it's rough coming back from that.
Well, I think if you take a more laid back approach to it and not so serious, you know, not so like everything I say is gospel, and then because he brings up his military service and his accomplishments in basically every single video, but you don't have to do that. You can just be like, man, I think this is funny today, and this is chill. Like Ben in a video, Ben just laughs it off, right? Whatever it might be. It's funny. He's chill about it. He just talks about it. He gives his opinion on it. He's not preaching to you. He's not, you know, telling you what you got to go out and do right now. And I think that's that prescription problem, right? Because it's like, because of my experience, I'm now prescribing that you must do this.
Yeah. So final thoughts. It's been a good week for Randy. I got a new job. I've got the trench thing. I got like vindicated on LPVO. Despite being a fat guy, I still actually go out and have a personal experience. I'm going to have one of those cigars in there tomorrow and then just enjoy things.
Wait, you're down how many pounds total now, Randy?
85 right now.
Nice.
Keep it up. Keep it
In
up,
the
brother.
last 3 months. So I got a ways to go yet, obviously, but
It's a
I'm
long hard road, man.
I'm getting around a lot better. I'm more active with things, and it's
Bro,
just
that's
gonna
two
keep-
plates. That's 2 plates off your
Yeah.
body at all time, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, it's like the stuff I walk around with, and that's where like
That's a bones deadlift right there.
Nice.
I gave it
Very
to
classy.
Yeah, I gave it to Trench the other day because, like, factually, it's like every time I walk up the steps, I was carrying hundreds of pounds on my back, essentially, or my frame. And it's like now I'm carrying less and I'm getting up a lot faster. I'm out of breath less, that sort of thing. So videos are going to be better without me just breathing into the mic the whole time.
Heavy breathing.
yeah.
You can take some links off that belt and save them, you know, when you go to matches. Also, hey, just to be clear, don't do the USPSA stolen valor, bro, man. It doesn't work out.
No, I would rather like a story of I started from the bottom and here's what I learned the whole way up. Like, you know, like how you did, like you said, like USPSA is kind of a joke. I just did these classifiers and I got this right away. That was a good video because it's like if all you care about is the rank, you could game the system pretty well. And
yeah, right. So, like, I'm a master level shooter, but that's a joke, right? I got some classifier scores. Now, I still shoot a lot. I still practice. I train. I'm very intentional with my dry fire, and I want to be a good shooter. But just because I achieved some rank doesn't mean that I have, like, some superiority to somebody else who's been shooting for longer and maybe just doesn't have that A or M next to their name, right?
and I might take you up on some of that leeway. I got a 40 Smith & Wesson PX4. I wonder if I shot it in production, if I'd be like, "Hey, I won the match."
Yeah,
like, I
production major. Yeah,
You
would be like the only guy. Yeah, production major shooting. That'd be funny. All right. Well, we'll finish up here. We're already 3 hours in, but it's been a great night, gents. Dark first half, though. Dark first half. Strapped LB style for 2 says, "I think you're right. I'm wrong. My bad." Hey, look at that. You know, it's another guy taking accountability. Yeah, I think you were reading that article wrong, but either way, it happens, and you sent like $20 along the way, so I'm not mad at all, bro. I just want clarity on the situation.
We all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo.
Speaking of mistakes, Dick Cheney's heart for 2 says, "Chat field trip to heckle Trench at his next match." No, we don't heckle people for going to matches. That's, going to matches and competing against other people in a controlled environment is, it's one of the objective measures of getting better and whatnot. So I applaud anybody who goes out and does competition shooting because, sometimes it's scary to see how you match up against other people. It's really easy to shoot in your backyard and think up here in your mind that you're really good until you see somebody else running around a stage in half the time you do. And you're like, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was.
I thought I was decent at jiu-jitsu just because of my size and stuff. And then I rolled with a Division I Iowa Hawkeyes wrestler that just mauled me. And
yeah,
I was like, there's levels. Yeah.
It just rolls you up into a bowling ball. Owens Bane for 5 says, "Sig has a mathematically higher failure rate than Trench. Seems fitting. Also, at $10 so far for Richard's new PFP of Trench's face with hearts around it." Aw, that's cute.
See what I can do.
Well, let me see here. Actually, this is a really good... Damn, you guys. Gosh. Wow. Thank you. Chill out for a second.
Bring
guys.
in the war chest on the stream.
I feel so popular. Yeah, you guys are funding my purchase of that SMS laser right now. That's what you're doing. No, but I think this image right here, this is the one that you have to put hearts around. Richard, I will send it to you.
Okay.
All right. This one right here. That's the one.
Also, Frank in chat, all my homies hate LPVOs. Randy knows what's up.
Oh, okay. Well, here's chat. Brace yourselves, Bones. Randy, relax. Okay, calm down. I bought the new Sig MSR Compact LPVO. It's 14 ounces, 1-6, comes with a mount, $300. So I bought that.
Pretty cheap,
I'm going to test it. $300, yeah, for the brand new one that just came out.
Yeah.
So I bought that.
I will
it's
watch
shipped.
your
I'll have it.
progress.
I'll have it this week. Okay.
I tested like the Arc and I thought it was like decent glass and everything. It's just for me an LPVO doesn't make sense because I'm shooting 250 and in like all the time.
What you mean? It's not better than
I will probably run it in like a match environment at some point, but just for fun. What would be really nice is if a place would allow me to run it an LPVO and a red dot like in the exact same stages back to back, and to see like time differences and hit differences and stuff like that. Although I can also, like, I have access to a range that lets me set up whatever the heck I want, so I can just set up real stages and do it that way, too.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Owens Bane. Andrew Vachon for 5 says, "I'm old enough to remember a thing called a Yellow Pages with phone numbers and addresses of pretty much everyone in my local area." No, when I was a kid growing up, like 4 or 5 years old, I remember big old yellow phone books sitting in our living room that my parents would flip through to be like, "Hey, honey, could you call this place and check about, tires for the car or something?" And then you would flip through the phone book, you would find them, you would call them, and then you would go meet them and, do whatever you needed to do. So that's just the way it was.
Those phone books were great for keeping people.
Phone books and stuff like that, high trust society, right? People can know their neighbors. They're part of the community. They're like when I was a kid, dude, in like bad counties up in Washington where I used to live. We're talking like Puyallup, places like that. At like 5 and 6 years old, we used to just ride bikes around our cul-de-sacs, and we would go up and down the main streets and whatnot, just on our bikes. Okay, and this was only 20 years ago, 25 years ago at this point, but still, this like a kid by ourselves, no adults, just me and my brothers or me and my sister or whatever it might have been, and that's just kind of the society we used to live in. Anymore, bro, you'd be driving past homeless people and crackheads and. I would not let my kids go around by themselves out in that environment anymore. So it's a different world we live in, unfortunately. Strapped LB style for 5 says Trampch needs to focus on his job and leave GunTube drama alone. It's messing with him. This video proves it. Feel bad for the guy. Every now and again, like even for me, I have to be very careful with this to not get a big head on my shoulders, to take a look in the mirror every time you do something. And when I get called out by my fans or by other people in the industry, I have to not just be an arrogant asshole about it and say I'm right no matter what. Like I have to be willing to take accountability, take a step back, listen, and figure out, like, did I actually do something wrong or am I right? Because if I'm right, I'm going to keep going. But if I'm wrong, then, I need to adjust course. And so I think that's just part of life, Boy Anderson for 2 says, sports ball, you mean African handball. African handball. Yes, sir. Strapped LB for 2 says, cheapest place for bulk ammo online these days. Ammo Seek is really good. I have been buying a lot of Freedom munitions. Not that it's a lot of remanufactured stuff, and it's like gamer stuff. So it's not, my local Shields for factory ammo has been about as cheap as online with no shipping wait time. No shipping fees either. So
I used to buy Freedom munitions a lot, but I want to say like a box of 1,000, where I was just getting like misfires where they were dudding like every other shot, and I was like, I'm done with them. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I just ordered. I think everything on the ground behind me is all Freedom. So of a bunch of different types. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I mean,
doesn't play well in certain guns.
HSL is another one. I bought 1,000 rounds. They're 124 competition loads, and it was okay. I had no failures, but it just like wasn't my favorite thing. So I mean, kind of depends. Yeah, well, if you're looking for specific places, SG ammo is pretty good. They're a little bit, they'll hike their prices really fast if they sense any sort of tariff or price increase. So like they change their prices like $40 a 1,000 rounds on 9mm like right away as soon as they heard about a price increase. They can be a little panicky. SG ammo is pretty good. I buy a lot from them. Again, HSL. Yeah, but I buy a lot of ammo in person because Shields is just so damn cheap. I'm there like every week buying ammo.
There's a lot of local reloaders in my area, and anytime I go to a gun show, they always have reloads that they sell that I've been shooting for a long time, and I've never once had like bad ammo or anything. So I don't know. I never really buy remand ammo online, but from the well-established reloaders in my area, they'll have ammo that's competitively priced compared to what's online. And yeah, it's reloads, so you can say that, but it's generally like I put probably in total 1,000 or 2,000 rounds between 9 and 223, 556, and yet to have any issues with any of it. So that's kind of my go-to fight besides
I've
online.
been shooting remands for like 2 years, but like the Hot Munitions, Black Dot Ammo, Callaway, some of those online brands I've had good luck with.
I used to buy a lot of Callaway. I probably bought 10,000 rounds of Callaway.
Yeah,
I think over the last few years. I haven't bought them recently. I'm not really sure why I haven't bought a lot of their stuff recently, but I've been trying other remand manufacturers of late.
Yeah, I don't do any of the Capital cartridge. I had a squib with that, and then Max Tech I had issues with, so I don't do that either.
Well, I found a lot of I don't know how you guys feel, but the foreign ammo sometimes is stupid hot. Hot.
Actually, yeah, I had some Tula like brass bathed 9mm, like 9 by or 124 grain. I'll see if I can find it and post it in the Discord. I think it's steel core because I shot 2 rounds of it at an indoor gun range, and there was sparks flying at the floor of the range when it hit the ground in the back, and it was really hot. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't shoot this anymore here.
Well, so funny you say that. I think it was Brown Bear. I was shooting Brown Bear back when you could get Russian 9mm in.
Okay,
and I was shooting Brown Bear. I was shooting Brown Bear at steel at like 15 yards away, and I had a piece come straight back at me through a sweatshirt, like indent into my skin. And I was
Jesus.
Like, that could have taken out an eye, or if it hit me in the throat or something. I'm like, I'm not shooting this. And it was nutty hot. It was like, this feels miserable to shoot. It feels like a different caliber.
Yeah.
Like it was plus P plus ammo or something. Have you seen the videos of the Indians where they have the ammo cases laying out?
They're just pouring it in.
They fill them to the brim. Right?
Oh my God.
It's just garbage powder with filler, and then they shove the bullets in on top.
Yeah,
So-
and then
piss
that
hot
dude.
loads.
There's that dude that put it in like a full auto, like Taurus or whatever, and just shot it, and it all fired. I was like amazed that it actually like cycled and did everything, but
Well,
it didn't blow up.
Have you
Yeah.
ever seen? I don't know if you guys. We're talking about ammo now. This is an ammo show now, but where you get a box of like random ammo, and as you're shooting it, it just leaves all of that unburnt filler material. Legitimate
gold
filler
stuff.
material.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Like it's my the 2011 that I'm borrowing, the STI Edge. It just a box of that stuff stopped it from working.
The
Because it just got
AAC
everywhere.
and Hornady on like 300 black subs are notorious for that. You shoot 300 black subs, your whole gun looks like it went to a glitter show.
Yeah, dude. If you put filler, listen, okay. If you put filler in ammo that I'm buying, I'm going to find you and do terrible things to you in Minecraft. Okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Dick Cheney's Heart for 2 says, "Can we send Randy to a match against Trench?" Yeah, Randy's our op 4 against Trench. The Light Spore for 2 says, "Chud Randy sucks up a lot of things, mostly food." He's been on a liquid diet. Okay, so he's been sucking up burgers through a straw. You don't know this man's struggle.
No, it hasn't been that bad. I'm back on regular food, but I actually dislike eating. Like I try to do more protein shakes. Like,
Are you on any sort of appetite suppressant? Have they got you on anything
No.
like ketone or something like that?
No, it's just my stomach's just smaller now. So
Yep.
it's like I get full and like I don't want to feel nauseous. So I was like, I'll opt for a protein shake.
Chud for 2 says, "Kyle, you blocked me, coward." Is Kyle still in chat? I'm sorry. Kyle, you can't be blocking people, baby. That's not nice. Your Discord kitten is calling, Chud. Thank you, Chud. Gabriel Baker for 2 says, "Someone please put an FRT in the Genesis 12 shotgun." Well, wait a second. Don't those just use a AR-10 fire control group?
Yeah, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be that Juicy Media guy probably in like the next month or so. He's got those Genesis.
I mean, Despop put an FRT or a super safety in everything. So I imagine it's a similar concept and should work. I guess it depends on the bulk. Or the bolt, sorry.
Didn't Micah? I'm pretty sure Micah tried that.
Hey, thank you, huge ass. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm gonna update the audio for that to make it the Cope Seethe music. We'll play that in just a second. Thank you for that, sir. Josh for 5 says, "Randy would body twink grenade."
I don't know if he ran around enough. I just got winded. He could probably win, but if it's a small cage like that little triangle bare knuckle one, I think.
Oh, dude, phone booth. You got a phone booth fight, Trench. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. You're Jericho. If he runs around you 7 times, you fall down. Thank you for that, Josh. Central Sands Defense. Ben says, "LPVO gang." Ben's on my side. It's me and Ben versus the 2 of you. I don't know.
I am also a LPVO enjoyer.
Okay, well, now I take it back. I hate LPVOs, man. Damn.
Thank you.
I'm just kidding.
I ruin everything.
Thank you.
Strapped
I'm vindicated now.
Strapped LB Style for 5 says, "Randy, I can't identify a rabbit in 100 yards with my dot and magnifier. I need that LPVO." Well, yeah, if you're doing pest control of like tiny animals, like, you know, a rabbit at 100 yards, you know, that's like a 6-inch target at 100 yards. I would prefer an LPVO for that. But I think we're talking like generic practical shooting when they say that they don't like LPVOs for that. Shooting at like cardboard sized targets, or steel targets. Stuff like
It's
that.
like a 5x magnifier. You can do 5x on an LPVO. I guess I don't see where it would be a problem there, you know?
Well, so I've cleared, actually, I was just editing this video today. I've cleared a 150-yard plate rack, which goes down to 4 inches with a Romeo 8T and the primary arm 6x magnifier, and I cleaned it twice.
Yeah.
So it's doable. It's not preferable, but it is doable for sure. So,
Well,
yeah.
4 inches is a lot, so.
At 150 yards, bro?
4 inches is always a lot.
I mean, above average, some would say.
I
Chud
know,
for
yeah.
2 says, "Cog Master Race, LPVO and Dot Mag are gay like Kyle." Yeah, LPVO and dots I totally get, but they get expensive and they get heavy really fast. Whereas like cogs and dots, still very expensive, but not so heavy, not so big. which is why I'm excited. So this new Sig MSR, the compact one, it's only 14 ounces with the mount. So it's just
That's
heavier than
pretty
the
light.
video. Yeah. We'll see how it actually performs.
I actually, that 1.5 ACOG, I used to own one and I regret getting rid of it. That 1.5 I liked a lot.
I've heard good things. I'm not I tried the Primary Arms GLX 2X Prism and I was like, it's not good enough for anything. So I don't know why I have it. You know, it was like just a little bit of magnification, but not enough to actually like stretch out. So I wasn't a huge fan of it.
I had the 1.5x for Triticon on a Scorpion Evo of all things. Back when the Scorpion Evo first came out, and it was cool. It was really clear glass, but I don't think I'd ever go back to one. I wasn't really a huge fan of it either. It's just kind of an awkward level of magnification.
Hop says the 1.5 ACOG is among the worst optics of all time. Wow.
I think like in practicality, it probably is. But like when I was starting out, like astigmatism, it was clear glass. I could see the reticle. And like when I'm shooting deer when they're on a full sprint, it's easy to find them and use it with that.
Yeah, it's certainly usable. Like it definitely works. It is a good.
You think I didn't have it, Guckerson Coberald? Think I didn't have it on speed dial, bro? You disgust me. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, hey, Ride-Alongs. Howdy all from Arizona. Arizona sucks, from what I've heard. I've been reliably informed that Arizona sucks. The Lightsport for 5, who doesn't suck, says, I almost got killed by a guy's reloads. That does suck. When it went up in my face, cracked the extractor on my BCG. Best part was that I was his FTO.
Field training officer?
I was his field training officer?
Is that what that is?
First
Like you got it from a
time
buddy and, you know, you were in who was getting into law enforcement or whatever? That's the only acronym I know for FTO.
Oh, man. So your underlings reloads almost kill you, bro. That's
yeah. Jesus.
Maybe it was a setup.
The automatic fail, bro. Congratulations, you're fired.
Doesn't Arizona look like Tatooine right now? Like they had that Fury Road dust storm come in. Yeah, Arizona's.
Oh, did they? Ugh.
Yeah, it's wild.
I thought it was always looking like Tatooine.
All right, over here on Ko-Fi, because you guys are being so generous, we're never getting out of here. Let's see. Moonman says, give me the power to make polls. It would be so funny, or I will hit you with the curse. And then he gave me a lot of random Egyptian cryptographics, and I don't know what I'm reading, but I imagine I got the 14 ailments or something.
Yeah, if you're reading the Curse of Ailments.
Yeah. Moonman, also on Ko-Fi, says, I am a grand wizard in the USP KKK, and I honestly might burn a standard-sized range target in your yard. Yeah, a USPSA grand wizard, you're burning targets. Dude, that'd be a funny video. I'm going to make that now.
Charlie.
That would be funny. Wear a pointy... dude, what type of hat would it be? It's got to be a pointy... what are
so they
USPSA
actually
colors
have...
on?
No, they have US... Or the... was it M81 Woodland Wizard
pointy
hats?
Oh.
My buddy may have one made for him.
Moonman says, make the chirp play along with the Cope Seethe Mauled music that usually plays with this clip. Yeah, I will get that audio clip entered eventually. You're talking about this one. Great music. Goes hard. Huge Ass, also in Ko-Fi, says Trench has fetal alcohol syndrome and Downs, which is a wombo combo. Not true, good sir. Huge Ass, also on Ko-Fi, says Trench loves to brag about his mediocre military career. Like, my dude, you're nothing special. Get over yourself. Well, I think that's a realization most people have to come to, because I'm fine with people being proud of what they've done, being proud of their personal accomplishments, right? And I think to a certain extent that's fine. But if you hold that as the be-all, end-all, and you get a massive ego over it, it's a recipe for a downfall.
And it's weird that, like, just own what you've done and I guess not embellish. I'm not saying Trench did it intentionally, right? It will give benefit of the doubt, say it was just error, clerical errors, but it's like, just say, you know, like, don't embellish at all. Just own what you've done and go with it, because it's what you've done, it's what you've achieved. You don't have to embellish it, especially if there is legitimately stuff you're proud of in there.
I mean, dude, how many times have we seen that now? John Shrek McPhee was CAG, was Green Beret, got kicked out, but has done cool things, been the cool guy, done all of that. Wasn't enough, had to lie, had to embellish, had to beat his wife and point guns in their faces multiple times, right? Tim Kennedy was a Green Beret, still is a Green Beret, right? He still has his tab. Green Beret, Strike Force champion, UFC fighter, book deals, movie deals, right? Whatever it might have been, done all of it, still had to lie about it. So ego at any level can be destructive. Now, it's not saying you can't be confident. You should be confident, right? But if you're confident in lies made up in your head or to this destructive level, like, you got to get that under control. Yeah.
100%.
Strapped LB for 5 says, "Good night, all. The one and only left." Richard, did you get it? Did he get it? Let's see if Richard got it. I see him doing it. You should just automatically play it.
There's so many things over here for me to flip through. I was trying.
I know. I moved it too. The one and only left M18 lover. Your mom says at home, Siga out. That's right. Okay. I gotta be honest. I actually hate that intro. Okay, as well, Trench. If you're listening,
it's awful.
I also hate that every time. I wish you would just get into the content sometimes. Like I just hate it. That's just me, bro. Oh yeah, dude, I set up a goal on Ko-Fi as a joke. I think I set it at like $10,000, and it's for nuking a random country. And then in parentheses, I put, you know which one.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Speaking of Ko-Fi, speaking of Ko-Fi, Moonman says, make Kyle a Janny. Do it for her. Logan, feel free to post one of the pics I made for him. Ooh.
Oh.
Moonman makes pics. Moonman, you need to make a pic for Randy.
Do that Jurassic Park one where it's
yeah. Put him on top of like a Brontosaurus or on top of a T-Rex. Like, don't clip that. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. No. Wait.
Solo layout, and I couldn't get it quick enough.
Well, it's going to be on the replay. Don't worry about it. All right, no, I think that's it. We're done. 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 33 seconds. Freemasonry spotted. Randy, what do you got coming up soon, man?
My girlfriend is going to Wisconsin with the kiddo to visit some family, so I'm recording like 50 videos, hopefully, in like the next 2 weeks of stuff that I've had in the hopper for a while. So yeah,
sweet. Well, here I'm going to post a link. Yeah. What rifle is that Arcanon? It's on the Quantum. The Blackout Defense, is that the one?
Blackout Defense. Yeah, I got a Blackout Defense. What is it? I still got the hat.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I posted the link to his LPVO video in chat, so you can go and argue with him in the comment sections and boost his engagement.
Yeah, love it.
What's the hot topic video though? What's like this is gonna be a banger?
Obviously like the USPSA, but also like some of the grips you shouldn't buy for AR-15s. So like that Kung Fu grip that is
that everybody has, yeah.
And there's a few others that I don't want to give away, but they're bad.
Yeah. Bones, what do you got coming up? Now that you're almost back, you got a lot of pent up videos, I'm sure. You got a big load of videos you need to just get out there.
So pent up. I have so much ready.
He's got video retention. He's on that video retention.
I'm super excited to be back home, and I've got like at least 5 or 6 videos that I'm pretty much ready to immediately get rolling on. I'm gonna get into a new job. I got it all lined up. I'm gonna maybe sell the house, so there's a lot of moving parts. But I know I plan on getting the video out pretty soon when I get back. And the hot topic, or we'll give a spoiler alert. The point of contention is, I think the first video I'm going to make when I get back is, I really like the Radian Ramjet, but would never carry one.
Good video.
There you go.
I agree.
And I'm very surprised nobody's talked about.
That's
what I
gonna make
discovered
people
about
mad.
it.
People love the Ramjet, man.
I know. I'm
That makes a
ready
good
for
video
it,
though.
but
I think
Rad's
I know what
arm
you're gonna say.
says Rad's arm says he has a blackout defense gun that didn't run and had no gas port drilled in the barrel.
I've heard of that actually.
Wild.
And I think I saw.
I
it
hate that, man. Because it's like obviously you didn't test fire it, because if you test fired it, you would know. It's like LMT. LMT sends out an upper with their straight gas tube installed upside down. So it's like you didn't test it, bro, because you would have figured out that it didn't run.
I hope they made it right. Like I put a different safety in my blackout defense, and I was like, "Hey, I can't get this cartridge trigger out. What's going on?" I called blackout defense, and they put me through to like Tom in the back immediately, and he just walked me through it. It was pretty wild.
Yeah. Richard, what do you got coming up?
Tomorrow I've got the clip from the Valhalla BFT Sean Ryan, John McPhee video coming out.
Oh, sweet. Heck yeah.
So if you guys,
bro, I was not. I just posted the link in chat. Focus Clips, check it out. I was not expecting that trench clip with Charlie to do 22,000 views today. 22,000 views today for a Clips channel.
Nice.
So, yeah. Last I checked, it was around 12, and I was like, "Wow, that's taking off." But
enough.
It did very well.
Well, I mean, dude, this thumbnail, it was so crappy, dude. So that is, can I make it bigger? Oh, and I'll just grab the thumbnail. I have it over here. I'll just grab the thumbnail. Dude, so this thumbnail is so bad because I literally grabbed a random PNG arm with a gun and then just cut out Charlie's arm and put it on. And then I just grabbed a hot face and put it on there and then just one of Trench's things. This thumbnail is so amazing. I love how crappy it is.
I should have given you the hug life where he's pointing with Hops wearing the chain and pointing the gun. He could have pointed it right back.
Oh, that would have been good too. Yeah, leave my femboy alone. It's my femboy. All right, gentlemen. Well, hey, that brings it to me, I guess. So yeah, I got videos and stuff coming out, dude. I've been editing this video and working on this video for like a year and a half. So you guys are gonna really enjoy it. It's gonna be about those civilian auto rifle concept thingamajigs. It's gonna be on Red Right Hand, so that's gonna be fun. People are gonna love it. It's gonna make a lot of people very happy and mad at the same time. So I'm not worried about it. It's mostly done. I just need to get a couple more things done with it, and then it'll be out. So. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you. Actually, no, wait, there's one more in Ko-Fi. My bad. Huge Ass says, and that's it. Thank you, man. Appreciate that over there on Ko-Fi. Central Sands Defense for 5 says, you stay away from my blessed state, Randy. Stay away.
I don't know which blessed state that is, but
Wisconsin. The Wisconsin.
I lived in Wisconsin for 34 years, so I was there in the middle. So.
I was there. That's where I moved to.
Or actually longer than that, 37, I think, technically.
Hey.
Certified cheesehead.
All right, but gents, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for hanging out and watching and all that sort of fun stuff. Thank you to the supporters, the mods in the chat, the guests for hanging out. Check them all out, please, and thank you. And with all that out of the way, gents, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless.